Okay, so it does look like, since I got the bad ending, I have to go back to the first council. I think that was back here. I think it was. Oh boy. I've had a day to rest my vocals. Is this it? Yeah, it is. Alright. Council already completed previously. Do you wish to skip the final section? Oh my god, thank you. That is actually good game design. Thank you very much. He had to give an answer. Refuse. Giving your number, be it true or false, was suicide. Those words from Gin resonated in his head. In his case, it was actually accurate. If he took the deal and gave a number, any number, they could accuse him with it and force him into giving his real one, of which he still had no idea. If that happened, his defeat would be certain, and his antidote would be lost. In less than 20 minutes, the poison would kill him. Fear of death halted him. He couldn't take that risk, no matter how much he wanted to save everyone. His silence extended for over a minute, a seemingly endless minute. That was his response. Like I thought, good choice. Huh? That proposal wasn't serious, just a small test. And I'm happy to see you didn't fall for that trap. Oh! Trap? Were you planning on No, of course not. I wasn't going to accuse you. Just wanted to see if your heroic aspirations crossed the line.
Line? What are you talking about?
Nothing. Doesn't matter anymore. But we go back to the same problem. We need a sacrifice.
Do you have to call it that?
It's the hard truth. Unless we don't accuse.
That is the dilemma. We need to trust each other.
Only in the majority. If a majority isn't reached, nobody will be forced to give out their actual number.
So we have to trust in at least 5 people?
More or less. So anybody feeling adventurous? They waited for a moment, but silence returned. But among that silence, an arm went up. I'm one. The sacrifice spoke up. Oh my god, dude. The one who had on several occasions downplayed the importance of his own survival. The perfect sacrifice. Council completed. All present players have overcome the first hour. Vodka. He declared the same number that I chose. Huh. Wow. Okay, so we know these pathways lead to a dead end, so there. But I'll also save up here. The first days. His memories of those days were fuzzy. To be expected, as they were his first memories. It happened when he was 5 years old, or maybe 4. That those were his first memories wasn't the only reason he could barely remember them. It was a chaotic time in his life. At no point did he know what was happening. It was perhaps that flow, that hurricane of changes, that awakened in his mind the ability to remember. A commotion that left a mark on him forever. Don't worry, this will be your new home.
Poor kid. At least he survived.
Are you okay? Do you need anything?
That was the beginning of his new life, supposedly. Wait a minute! Is this through Billiard's perspective? And if so, this probably has something to do with the actual car crash that we saw in that hint that we had to find.
Oh my god!
For him, however, it was more akin to a first life. The one he had beforehand didn't exist in his mind any longer. He had already left behind that second life. A third life, his real life, awaited him. But now a fourth life, that game, had seized him. A 10-hour life that could be his last. Where anything could happen. Where nobody was safe. Fuck! Limbo. Everybody do the limbo. I'm one. With the tone he used, it was almost like he was simply greeting them. Clearly, he did not care. Everyone's reaction was immediate. Surprise didn't come from his act. After all, he had made very clear he didn't fear death. But for his choice in number. Why one? If it was a lie, which it most likely was, they could be sure he wouldn't kill them. Not like that had worried them anyway. His age would make any murder attempt hard. Nobody started an accusation, and Bill's proposal went nowhere. And with that uncertainty, the first council came to an end. Once it ended, a message from the owner, the mastermind, appeared. They had to take their antidotes, but there were still a few minutes left until the end of the hour, when they would be distributed.
Well, that wasn't so bad, was it?
Lime stood up and stretched her arms. Nobody answered. Bill wasn't able to calm down, feeling as if he was about to explode at any moment. He felt useless, helpless, like a coward. His inaction had made vodka take the fall.
Alright, time to get this throat wet with some booze. Almost dried up there.
Oh, and now I know what's going on. Yes, please. I need something strong.
Like a shot of bleach?
Please, not this again.
I once read a novel with a murder where the killer used detergent to do it. Okay, so we've already read that.
Don't give me that look. I wasn't just talking about killing you. Man, people have lost their sense of humor. Weird novel, I know. Sequel was better.
Hold on. It's green! Here we go. Neither could they know for certain if winning the game it would grant them a permanent antidote, but they had no choice but to believe it. And so, with the real danger practically confirmed, the conversation sprouted.
Never imagined that Grandpa would save my life.
You mean me?
You're the only Grandpa here. Either that or the others got some lucky bodies.
Nor did I ever imagine that the day would come where saying a number out loud could save someone's life. How the world changes, eh?
Okay, so it is a little bit thing to where it does skip dialogue that I haven't read, unfortunately. Okay. That's a slight problem. Actually, wait a minute. Let me just, There we go.
I'm so sorry that you had to come to our rescue, but thank you.
No need to feel bad, madam. I didn't do anything special.
You should value your life more. Even if you're at the last stage of it, you must see it to the end.
The end? That's probably in a week, best case scenario.
Are you ill or what?
I'm just being a bit dramatic. Honestly, for my age, my body isn't holding up too badly. Still, you do get tired after such a long life, so I just don't give a damn. Either way, nobody started a vote, so who cares?
But
Shut it with your blathering. You'll end up making me wish I hadn't.
Bill was too angry at himself. He felt responsible for it. Dart's terms were too dangerous. Yet even so, if he had known that vodka would take that step, maybe he would have accepted them. But what had been done couldn't be undone. In the end, his words fell on deaf ears. The only thing he could do was try again. We can't be relying on the belief that someone will do this every hour. We must work together to get out of here.
Still saying that?
Refusing to have an agreement on Rule 3 is basically saying you plan to win the game. As a last resort, he decided to be as straightforward as possible. He had wanted to avoid it, but he no longer saw any other option.
Plan? No! I just don't trust that everyone would keep their word. Understandable. What you say makes sense, but I believe most of us just haven't figured things out yet. Nobody wants to kill, but nobody wants to get killed.
That exactly.
Oh, we'll have to choose sooner or later. I'm with Billy. No, we can survive with no killing too, by just being one of the last 3.
Right, the passive way, but that rests on others killing for you. It's the easy way, but can also extend the game for 10 hours and have Rule 4 kill us all.
Why does this have to happen to me?
Reaching a boiling point, Cigar gave out a small scream. While not very big, they could feel her confusion and frustration in it. But nobody can answer her question. Enough! For now, everyone needs to make a decision. Those who want to cooperate are free to do so. And it would help the rest. And those who want to play, passively or not, go ahead.
Go ahead!
Asking for the trust of someone who fears for their life is pointless. That trust must be gained first. That's all. Good luck. With nothing more to add, Darts got up and left. Coffee followed, and the rest fell into silence.
Listen, I know it's not easy, but... Lime?
Yes?
Give me a hand. You said you were on my side, didn't you?
Yeah, but honestly, no idea what to say.
Then will you do Rule 3 on the next one?
What? Why me? Where'd the randomness go? At least go first.
Me? Piano went away, followed by Cigar. Clearly that wasn't working. Fuck. Bill had been left alone on the counter with cocktail and vodka. He didn't have the will to move after that defeat. Need to calm down first. Noticing his mood, Cocktail spoke.
I understand your frustration, but it was the natural result. Your attitude is laudable, but when life itself is at stake, it tends to get priority. I don't believe anyone is against you. It's a simple matter of survival instinct. We are all in the same boat. We shouldn't see each other as enemies. If by the end we survive at the cost of others, we must cry their deaths and celebrate our lives. And if we die at the hands of another, we must accept it in peace.
A very commendable way of looking at it, but I doubt most see it that way. Humans are selfish. Empathy has its limits. Even someone like me, ready to accept death, would curse the one who kills me. That's only fair. Yeah, we've read this.
Are you really ready, if so?
Yes, but also no. You see, this point in life, I just stopped caring about being consistent. I'll answer one way at one time and later another. Whatever happens, happens. In other words, screw it. God could take my middle finger and all the others too. Might as well.
I appreciate the lightheartedness, but I think you should calm down slightly. Let me just save this here. There we go.
You don't seem very bothered by all of this.
I'm only trying to be at peace. Like I said, I don't plan to act, but only observe and protect myself.
It's 2 of us then. How about you, boy? You talk much about avoiding deaths. However, would you throw your own life to save another?
Bill finally raised his head. Of course, saving everyone meant him as well. It was the ambition of a hero, even though he didn't see himself as one. So if he had to choose between his life or someone else's, nobody, including myself, will die.
I see. How youthfully optimistic.
His answer was not to answer. In a way, it started to feel like a challenge. Prove them wrong, that they could reach the ideal ending. But looking at it that way, his motivation grew. There's a way to survive without playing this game. Maybe not right now, it doesn't seem possible, but in time it will appear. Vodka, until that moment, carefree, stared him in the eyes.
Those eyes. Are you implying it's not optimism, but a certainty?
Yes. Yep, it came without a thought. It really wasn't optimism or certainty, just stubbornness. But against the sudden pressure, he had lied.
That's madness, boy. Maybe I got you wrong, young lad. What you have is madness.
I'm gonna keep on kind of reading this, just in case there might be some new stuff. Huh?
I want to agree, but my senses tell me it's not happening. It's impossible. A few could survive, but most of us are done. Sentenced. Life doesn't have an easy road. Only a catalog ranging from hard to hellish. All uphill. Every day's the same. Wake up with a cup of cynicism for breakfast. Go back to sleep after a handful of disappointments for dinner.
I still like that line. It's a really good line.
This game is no different. There's no happy ending to be found. Though imagine in my mind, you'll win this respect of this old geezer. Nothing like that has much value.
As suddenly as it appeared, all that seriousness went away, as he gave Bill a few pats on the back. He felt bad for lying, but didn't say anything. So he decided to do all he could to turn that little lie into the truth. He would find that certainty and break that cynicism. Let's hope. Leave that aside, does anyone want another drink? We probably shouldn't be getting drunk on this sort of thing, honestly. Sorry.
Well, can't say no as long as it's free.
Considering the situation we are in, it would be in bad taste if it wasn't.
Exactly.
Alright. In his head, memories from the recent dispute the group had were replaying. What direction were things going to go from that point forward? See, now that Vodka took the first step and I didn't, that means there's a high chance during the second council I'm going to be the one that has to take the fall. Y'all know what time it is. Am I going to do the council again? Oh. On the one hand, there was his personal issue, his unknown number, which could be either 2, 6, or 8. With Rule 2, he could venture outside where a bigger hope existed, as opposed to the non-existent one inside that bar with barely no options left. While he couldn't claim to have searched the Golden Jack from top to bottom, he had looked enough to be quite sure that their salvation wasn't there. But what was the salvation he seeked? The antidotes? The temporary ones I'd taken, but the ones the winners of the game would receive. If they existed, they had to be there, somewhere in the building. That's why Rule 2 was his biggest hope, the freedom of movement. The only alternatives was to escape and find a hospital as fast as possible, which was clearly more dangerous. Either way, they had to get out. What hopes did he have remaining inside that bar? Only winning the game. Had Tu already tried to escape, or was it him? Was his only option to go out risking his life? Am I coming at a bad time? A voice interrupted his thoughts. Opening his eyes and looking up, he found someone unexpected. No, is something wrong? Vodka!
No, it's nothing. I was passing by and saw you. I'll give you company.
Well, he tried being alone on purpose, but before he could say anything else, Vodka was already sitting in front of him. He moved slowly, albeit without much hardship for his age.
I've been pondering over what we talked about on the counter.
Yeah, I was also thinking that.
Any conclusion?
Yes, well, no. More or less.
That uncertainty won't do you any favors, young one. Lying like before would be better.
Before?
You called it certainty, while I called it madness, even though I knew the truth. Chin up. That was a noble lie.
Noble?
It will only be a lie if you let it become one. That's why I want you to prove me wrong. I claim that you would propose is impossible. All but 3 people will die, and that's the best case scenario. and I'll probably be among the first to go.
Don't say that, please.
The only good thing you get with age is wisdom, so let me enlighten you. You must look at reality and make a choice. You either accept it or challenge it. If you refuse what I say so strongly, you must fight. And for that, your lie must become truth. You have to beat reality. Don't fear it. Act no matter what. Do the unthinkable. I feel determination in your words, yet it's lacking in your actions.
Are you saying that I should have taken Dart's deal? It still hurts to think that you had to take that hit for us.
Still going with that, please. The real hit was the one with the floor afterwards, not me uttering a number. Forget that folly and that foolishly unnamed ideal. Maybe it would have been better to accept, who knows? But that would not have been the solution you were looking for. Forget the rest, and focus on what truly matters. Your words alone are pointless. To convince us, you need proof. Show it, and put us on your side.
Bill did his best to understand this little lecture, like a son carefully listening to his father or a teacher. But what proof could he acquire? The only thing I could think of was taking the riskiest path, leaving the Golden Jack. Do you think I should risk my life for it? In the face of that question, Vodka fell silent for a moment. After some thought, he gave his answer.
I thought your goal was everyone's survival. Or are you not including yourself?
Oh. Okay. I see. In the last one, we didn't have Vodka here to kind of keep us relatively level-headed. So we just took that risk of leaping out, and it resulting in the loss of our life. But here, Vodka's like bringing us to a level head. Like, he might be the one who's basically stopping us from throwing our life away. And I'm not trying to, assume what he could potentially be. Maybe he's rule number 2, you never know. It would be kind of fitting for the slowest member to be the only one who'd struggle trying to escape. That got him.
If you feel as if there's no other choice, perhaps. It's your life. Do whatever you want. In any case, if you need a sacrifice, here I am.
No, I would never do that!
Your ambitions are high. Very high. Too much so, probably. Few heroes in life. Don't try to be one if you don't see yourself capable. Nobody is forcing you to.
It's not what I'm really looking for. I'm not trying to be a hero, but I just can't sit down and do nothing with what's happening. And what can happen.
Sure. Good luck on that. As if nothing had happened, Vodka got up.
Wait, that's it?
Not a lot left.
Left for what? The alarm! He looked at the time, 1:40. The council! There were still 5 minutes left, but the sooner the better. If they lost track of time and were too late, they could lose their antidotes. That would be the saddest and dumbest reason to die.
I'm guessing we're headed to the same place, yes?
Not sure, but we should. That's what everyone else will probably think.
Let's get going then.
In the end, no plan was made. The only conclusion was that number 2 was the key. That, and Vodka's words, still resonating in his mind. Seriously, good on you, Vodka. Thank you. That changes things. Ending the talk, they proceeded to the same area as the previous council, where some already awaited.
2 licks.
2 more, you mean?
He sat on the same spot, and so did Vodka.
Where are the others?
Poker, Gin, Lime, and Coffee were still missing. Poker and Gin said that they were going to play chess.
Really?
Yes, I can confirm it. That's what they told me, at least.
And I saw Lime lying on a sofa.
Oh, yes, me too. I hope she didn't fall asleep. That would be the worst.
Should I go look for them?
No need, you already did enough for us back at the counter. Let's hope they're responsible enough to remember.
The barman have an alarm. Their problem.
If the girl fell asleep, I wouldn't put much faith on that waking her up. I know from experience, few things can wake me.
We got the idea, old fart.
Yeah, the building could collapse and I still wouldn't get up. I'd like some good sleep.
Coffee came at that time, speechless as usual. She sat in her seat, raising her hand as her only green, like a student raising their arm to roll call, though much less enthusiastically. Not that they could blame her. Nobody wanted to be there either. Only 2 minutes left. Maybe we should actually go look for them. He had tried not to worry too much, but as the moment approached, it was hard not to. Losing someone for breaking a rule as basic as attending the council would be horrible. Yes. Yes, it would be. It would be god-awful.
Lime is in the house.
But finally, Lime arrived alongside Geen. Just in time.
Weren't you with poker?
I was, yeah.
Right, but not anymore.
That's because I killed him. We played a couple times, but finished a while ago. Was gonna be doing that for a whole hour, please.
Wasn't gonna be doing that for a whole hour.
Good thing Guinevere came to my rescue, like a prince waking up the sleeping beauty.
Then you really fell asleep on the sofa.
That's a secret.
Yeah, right. Got lucky that I was just passing by.
Mea culpa, c'est la vie.
Both sat on their spots. Only poker remained, with only a minute left.
God damn it, took me a long time to get over here.
Luckily, he appeared a few seconds later in a hurry, sitting quickly.
Sorry, got distracted.
What the hell were you doing?
Investigating, duh.
And you almost missed the train.
Did you find something at least? I wish.
Yeah, it's much easier for me to do the freaking, doing the Awishi voice for him. The barman light up, showing the council warning. Here we go. Here we go. The time had arrived again. Felt quick, like I just finished the first one. Although the situation still wasn't desperate, time advanced without mercy. Rule 3 would be a danger to confront again without a pact made. Perhaps he would have to be the one to act this time. With his mind still plagued by doubts and worries, the council started. Duh. I don't know. There it is. Let's get rid of that one. First council? Second council. Here we go again. Where do we start?
My guess would be Rule 3 again.
So soon?
The sooner the better. That way we can rest easy.
I already did my part. Somebody else has to pay up now.
Like maybe me. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Alright, this is a new one. Here we go. Okay. New content! Council already previously complete. Do you wish to skip it? Wait, seriously? Oh, the discussion itself was different before it. Cause, wait, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like, before though. Wait, Is she still going to be the one to claim the number, though? It says this is where... Let me see. I'm guessing the betrayal stuck? I can only assume. I'll keep the save spot, though. Possibilities. What was his name? Maybe this is for all the time he'd been with him, referring to him as a big brother. He was sure that they'd introduced themselves when they first met, that he had, no doubt, heard from other people. But that identity had disappeared from his memories. Say, what do you want to do?
I'll play some.
The boy laughed a bit at his answer. Let me right now. What would you like to do in the future?
The future?
He'd never thought about it. Was there a future? He didn't think about the future as something that awaited him tomorrow or in a week, but as a faraway concept. At a time he couldn't possibly imagine in his young mind. Though he did know, better than most kids his age, that the present didn't last forever. As time goes on, everything changes, reaching completely different futures. The reason he knew that with so much certainty was the same as why he was there, with that person. And it was precisely because he knew that he couldn't imagine that future. Because that future could be practically anything, something he could not predict. And among those infinite possibilities, there was the possibility that such a future simply did not exist. That was something else he knew well for his age. Death. Limit. Wait, this is probably going to be the same, though, isn't it? No. I had that talk with Vodka. So that changes things. I hope. Oh, there we go. After the council, everyone went together to the counter to get their antidotes, same as before. They started to feel the effects of the poison on the way there, but unlike the previous hour, Vodka endured and there were no incidents. Even though they'd been physically spared, the council did leave some mental wounds. Bill felt even more distant from the others than before. It wasn't that they didn't understand his arguments, but simply that they'd decided his ideal solution was impossible. Number 2 was the only hope he could see. He needed its helper to do it himself. Once he was done with his drink, he entered the data menu and opened the third one. Alright, I gotta do that. The suicide attempt. An unavoidable shiver ran through him. That data went much farther than he'd anticipated they would go. The amount of numbers was also unexpected, just 2. They made it a powerful data to discover those rules, and they weren't ones he could disregard. There was a macabre irony in that one data being tied to the number that could kill others directly, and the number it could create a union with. A dangerous pair he had to be wary of, but his goal wasn't to reveal anyone's number, aside from his own, and unfortunately those 2 were already discarded. He had sworn to get out of the bar and seek salvation if, after 2 hours, the situation hadn't improved, but the big uncertainty on his number held him back. He could confirm he was Rule 2. If he could, he'd obtain one hope, the ability to survive outside for more than 1 hour. But it wasn't so simple. If the others realized his absence, they could vote him and kill him. Either way, to consider these hypotheticals was in truth a waste of time. Deep down he knew. Even if he had another rule, his only option was to get out. Despite that, for the time being, he decided to wait 1 more hour, as he'd initially intended. Not just because of the likelihood of figuring out his number, but also the worries he held for the group. Okay, there we go. There's the change. The situation had been on the brink of collapse from the start, walking on the edge of a cliff where any mistake could result in a fall. But now it felt like a hurricane would throw them off. Huh? He closed the data menu and opened objectives. Find the other player with this objective unfulfilled? Better half. As expected, a new objective awaited him, and one that would require him to talk to the others in order to find the other person with the same objective without revealing his own. It was a challenge, but at the same time, it also worked as an excuse to interact with everyone. It was a much harder task in the middle of a council, but doing so face-to-face gave him a chance to gain some allies. Or best case scenario, find number 2. But the first priority was clearing his objective, Therefore, he needed some tactic to hint to the others in a way the other half would understand it and reveal themselves. In the same way, he needed to pay attention to what the others said, to pick up on signals from the other person. Maybe I can mention something about love. The objective did have the image of a couple searching for one another. It could potentially work. Though that subject really wasn't his forte and could go on directions he'd rather avoid. He put his barman away and turned towards the remaining players there. As expected, Cocktail was working behind the counter. Sitting in front were Darts, Lime, and Vodka. Darts was focused on his barman, while the rest were chatting.
Hey, compadre, come over here.
Noticing his gaze, Lime turned towards him and called him. Without a word, he got up and sat on the empty seat next to Vodka. Anything to drink? Nah, I'm good.
Here he is, my favorite Billy.
But I'm the only Bill here.
Exactly.
Good one.
Well, this Gramps gets me, but still, I like you, B.
Are you the other half? That'd be kind of funny if you were.
What a curious mindset you have, young lad.
Honestly, I'm not sure what to say. In my humble opinion, I believe they are messing with you. I can see that, and I'm not sure how to feel about it.
Come on, open up a bit. How about telling us something about yourself? I'm curious.
I'm not sure that's a good idea. Personal information is a weapon in this game.
No, don't care about the game. It's just good old gossip.
How frank of you.
I bet her objective is to get somebody to spill something about themselves. But my life really is not that interesting. I go through the same routine every day. Work a lot, go back home, and that's about it. That all but confirms that he was the one that was in the accident.
That's just sad.
What a life.
It's nothing special, but I'm fine with that. It's actually what I wanted.
Huh?
It might sound weird, but that routine calms me down. I like that stability. I am relating to billiards way too fucking much right now. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not so much that I like my job, it's literally the routine. Okay. That's why I can't stand this game. The sadistic entertainment where we've ended up.
True that, but not gonna lie, if they got rid of the lethal part, that'd actually be pretty fun.
My body is not ready for this stuff anymore, but truth be told, I would have preferred dramatic death over just falling dead while doing fuck all one day.
Are your grandpas like this?
No idea. Probably.
I need to get out of here. I don't need any more drama.
But drama is the sugar of life. Just have some moderation so it doesn't kill you.
You are missing out on some fine treats, young man.
Yeah, but actually I'm more of a lemon person, if you catch my drift. Oh, and now my name makes sense. I just got that.
Seriously? I don't get it, but I'm afraid to ask.
But seriously, nothing interesting ever? Like aside from this?
Well, I'm a YouTuber. Interesting wouldn't be the word I'd use to describe this mess.
Oh, whatevs. Come on, give us something.
I don't want to, but even if it's just gossip, her insistence could mean her objective is investigator. Maybe I should, just in case. Well, actually, there is one thing. When I was little, I almost died.
Nani? Not what I was expecting.
I'd say.
Are you referring to some birth issue? No. I was already a few years old. An accident, but I survived.
You don't say.
Oh, you don't say. I'm good at ventriloquism. I pretended to be a girl there.
Right.
This might be rude of me to ask, but could that scar on your cheek be a result of that accident?
Oh yeah! It got my attention the first time I saw it. Didn't imagine it would be that bad though.
Oh my god, so that's that mark, that's a scar? Oh shit. No, this came later. From a little quarrel I was involved in, basically. Honestly, it's because I was still so small back then that I managed to avoid any injuries. After all, the scars it would have left me otherwise would be way bigger than this one. All things considered, I was pretty lucky.
Wait a minute. Lucky indeed. But it seems like that luck has run out. Oh well, let's hope it didn't. Maybe he wasn't the one in the accident.
No, wait, he just said no. Fuck!
Ignore the oldie. Survive once and you'll survive twice. What happens now? What happens once will happen again. So said the wise old man of the East.
Who?
Are you gonna say no to the wise old man of the East?
No?
There you go. Cocktail, give me another one.
I bet you she might have actually had to get somebody to divulge some personal information. That's probably what she was supposed to do. To his surprise, they didn't ask for more details. He'd only talked about it with a few people, and last time was years ago. Well, how do you open up about something like that? It's not that he remembered it clearly, but while his memories were vague, that incident had shaped the rest of his life, and he could still feel it. Even more than ever in that moment. That fear of death, that rejection of death. Not only his own, but of others as well. With no desire to drink, he got up. I think I'll go take a walk.
Have fun.
Take care. But you wanna know what I'm gonna do?
Fave.
Aravadici. Aravadici.
Are you drunk? Is she drunk already? Trying to get past his past out of his head. Or get his past out of his head. He focused on his top priority, his objective. He had to find his better half. He could have tried to find out if it was one of the four at the counter, but it was necessary to talk in private to confirm it without getting discovered, so it was best to find people that were alone. He could see several of them from afar. It was time to go. Oh, this is new! Well, we could go for her. Let's go with him first. Let's go with poker. Going through the central area of the bar, Bill caught a glimpse of someone in an unexpected location. The exit of the Golden Jack. He got closer and indeed someone was there, leaning on the wall. Wasn't expecting to find anybody here.
There you got me. Wasn't expecting to be found here either.
That situation was sort of strange. What was he doing there alone? No doubt suspicious, though he didn't look particularly nervous or surprised to have been caught. His face showed the same sneering smirk that he often had when there wasn't anything annoying or serious happening. He couldn't help but feel slightly uncomfortable looking at that smile, bewildered, unable to comprehend how such a seeming sign of satisfaction could exist in the middle of that game. Actually, wait a minute, I just remembered something. Oh, it didn't. Wow, it didn't update her to rule 5? Or, wait, what was her number? 5? Yeah, her number was 5. He couldn't help but feel slightly uncomfortable looking at that smile, bewildered, unable to comprehend such a seeming sign of satisfaction could exist in the middle of that game. Also, this theme, oh boy. He wasn't the only one there able to keep a smile. Lime was the most extreme one, case, really. Still, the girl's smile was different from that man's. More innocent. Cocktail was another case. A cordial and kind smile that showed his professionalism. Vodka, meanwhile, had one of disregard for his own life and everything happening in it. His, on the other hand, hid something evil? No, not exactly, considering the comments he had made previously. But most likely... Is he enjoying the game? His attitude on the council seemed to indicate that he was taking things seriously, unlike some others. It wasn't just a game to him, yet that smirk made Bill's worst fears surface. It was similar to Dart's. He was more suspicious, no denying that. Yet thanks to their interactions, Bill had the feeling that he wasn't planning on doing anything for the time being. He wouldn't dare to claim he knew what he was hiding in his head. Dart's was still a mystery. And yet, he had somehow gotten more familiar with him than with poker. What's he doing here? Is he number 2? He can only think of one reason why anyone would be near the door. Are you... No, I shouldn't say it.
Don't leave me hanging now, kid. I'm what?
No, it's nothing.
Wait, you think I'm... Ah, got it. Nah, you got it wrong. Don't jump to conclusions so fast. I was just searching around.
Searching? He was just standing still when I saw him. But if he's telling the truth, maybe he has to find a clue objective. In that case, I better not say anything else.
Well, truth be told, I also wanted to see the outside again. No crossing, of course. Not like it's the outside that I really want to see, it's just the hallway to the unknown.
It should lead outside. It's the only exit.
Not so sure on that one, kid. Might be another exit we don't know about, like in the kitchen or something.
In the kitchen? I doubt it. But we can't really check, thanks to the core rules. And we can't do anything about those.
Exactly. And that's how they can get us easily. A big fake exit sign hiding the real one. Someone capable of putting this up would totally do that.
He hadn't thought about it, but with that logic, it was a possibility. One he didn't like at all. I'd prefer to not think about that. This door's our only hope to escape, if we get the help of number 2.
And there's the problem. We are fucked, basically. That's what my pessimism says. But I wouldn't mind being an optimist like you if I could.
I don't think I would consider myself an optimist, to be honest.
Considering what you've been saying since we woke up, it's impossible to not think you are. Or are you blind?
It's not really optimism, I think. More like I'm too stubborn. I realize that's what I want. That what I want isn't easy, but I try anyways.
Calling it not easy is almost laughable. That's clearly optimism. The sooner you acknowledge it, the better. Trust me. I know what it's like to get your hopes up and they can be shattered.
What do you mean?
Yeah, nothing. Personal shit. You're better off not hearing about my life. Not worth it. Let's just say it hasn't been too successful so far. And after all, and all this is the cherry on top I didn't need.
Yes, well, in that sense, I can empathize a bit. I also had a bit of a strange life, although much shorter than yours.
You calling me old?
No, but you're clearly older than me.
Well, yeah, no shit, but it's not something nice to hear.
Sorry.
No, that's reality. No point in apologizing for that. There's something I need to make clear, though. My life hasn't been a bit strange. In fact, it's the opposite. It's a pretty normal life. Miserably normal, even. Nothing extraordinary about it. If at the very least I had a lot of anecdotes to tell, that'd be something, but no. So I doubt you could sympathize with my problems. No need to feel bad for me. That'd just be more pathetic.
So you're just an average Joe who had a normal life. I guess.
Listen, the lives we've had outside don't matter right now. They don't fucking matter, understand? Right now, we're all equally fucked hard. So much so, I don't know how we're still alive.
Yeah, I guess.
You need to stop guessing so damn much.
I get...
What I'm trying to say is that even if my gut tells me that most of us are finished, I'd love to believe in what you're saying. But I need something solid, something to believe in. So far, you've only talked about what ifs. Nothing that helps me think we have any chance to escape this shitfest. But I shouldn't rely on someone who must be 20 years younger than me. Now that would be sad. That's why I won't put that big responsibility. I'll search by my own for anything to hold on to. That's why I came here. Next to the door that could either lead us to heaven or right down to hell. That said, after 2 hours here, I'm starting to not care about whatever it is. I just want to get out. If only I could.
I see. Poker venting out of nowhere caught him off guard, but he seemed to need it. Well, yeah. Are you okay?
Why are you asking?
You seemed a bit tense.
A bit? A damn big bit? I thought talking about it would make me feel better, but to be honest, nothing has changed, so I feel the same. Trapped in this fucking cage.
Understandable. If you don't mind, I have something to ask.
After hearing my rant, that's fair. What is it?
I don't think it's him, based on what he said. Still better to make sure. It's kind of a strange question, but if you were searching here alone, you aren't looking for anybody, right?
Looking for someone? For what?
For something.
Oh, I see, I get it. No, not this hour.
Did he figure out my objective?
Good luck with that.
Thanks. Well, he didn't say it out loud, so I didn't break the rule. Looking at it that way, it wasn't harsh a rule as it appeared. As long as the rest didn't intend on killing, there was no need to hide it. And in fact, the first rule made them incapable of murder, so it was quite safe. Also, good on you for noticing.
Is that all?
Yes, I'll leave you with your stuff.
What's with that tone? Wasn't doing anything weird here.
Really not sure about what he's doing here. Must be searching for a clue for his objective, who knows? In his head, he kept thinking of another possibility. There was a player with a good reason to get close to the exit, but the other theory was more likely. The uneasiness he had tried to put aside wouldn't go away until he treated it directly. With a trembling hand, Poker. Excuse me if this question bothers you, but are you enjoying this game?
I despise this game. As a fan of a good challenge, of a good game, this one is an insult. The one who must decide if I put my life on the line is me, and no one else.
I see. He had to resume the search. Good that he's not enjoying it. Well, let's get the kid out of the way then. We'll do coffee last. He found Piano sitting on the sofa next to the fish tank, looking at his barman, which he turned off when he heard him approaching. Excuse me, just wanted to ask something.
What is it?
He sounded annoyed, but not more than usual. He seemed to be more addressed at the situation than any one person specifically. He understood his frustration, of course, but at the same time, there was something weird about it. While not related to his objective, he couldn't help but bring it up. Before that, there's something I'm curious about.
What?
Aren't you worried?
Huh?
That question did seem to have touched a nerve. Bill immediately asked himself if that talk has been a good idea.
What do you mean?
The game. I get the feeling that even though you hate being here, it's not bothering you that much.
Of course not. I'm no coward. I'm not dying so soon.
I don't think worrying in a situation like this one would make you a coward, especially at your age.
Wanna fight?
What? No!
Then shut your mouth.
I'm not saying you should be scared either, but being too confident can be bad too.
What are you, my mom?
No, that would be Cigar.
Wait, what? I'll survive this, be it by winning or escaping.
Against such an aggressive position, pressing was pointless, but now he had more questions than before. Fine, forget it.
Good. And the question?
Oh, right. This might sound weird, but are you looking for someone?
What?
Nothing. Forget it.
Wait, stop. Explain yourself.
It's simple. Are you, right now, looking for someone?
I'd like to find the poohead that put us here. Is that a good answer?
Yeah, that would be nice. Didn't seem to be him. One less candidate. Okay, so it's coffee. Or somebody else.
What are you planning? That question was way too suspicious.
He won't stop asking until he gets an answer he likes, will he? No, he's a persistent kid. Maybe that wasn't the best way to ask. Nothing, I swear. It didn't say that the best way.
What does that mean? You want to say something other thing?
No, though it did sound more suspicious than I expected.
Then you admit it sounds suspicious.
Well, yeah, but I'm not planning anything, and I know nothing.
Easy to say.
And in the first place, what would I even be plotting?
I don't know, that's why I ask. You say you want to save all of us, and that's already really suspicious.
How? I don't get it. Isn't that what you should all want too?
Yeah, sure, that'd be great. No way it's happening, though. So if you want to keep saying it, either you're stupid or you want to trick us. It can't mean anything else.
Faced with that, he could only sigh. That was the big problem. How people often lend more towards what they believe is more rational than what they actually want. The distrust born from fear, which leads to the famous prisoner's dilemma. Bill was by no means an expert on those subjects, but felt the frustration they produced nonetheless. Even the youngest one there, who should have been the most innocent of the group, was distrustful. In fact, he appeared to be among the most distrustful. For a moment, he wondered if it could be a good generational difference. He wasn't vodka, though. Their age gap was most likely only about 10 years. 10 years may not seem like much, but it made a clear difference. Yeah. Every time I wake up in the morning, I realize, oh shit, I am 30 fucking years old. I just remembered I vaguely remember the day I turned 21. What the fuck happened? Not sure that's a good way to trick anyone. If you want to think I'm too naive, I can't stop you, but I can try all I can to prove you wrong.
Whatever you say.
Surprisingly, that response appeared to work. Or at least Piano didn't seem to know how to answer. You're too distrustful for your age.
My age has nothing to do with it.
Actually, how old are you? I assumed 12.
That's secret. It could be data.
I doubt it. Data about your age would be too obvious.
Shut up! If you don't have any more questions, go away!
That sun change felt strange. Bill couldn't help but laugh a little. He really tries to act mature, but he's still just a kid. Put in that game and surrounded by adults, it wasn't too surprising. It was a way to protect himself. After all, he was the easiest target alongside Vodka. But while Vodka didn't treat death seriously, Piano clearly wanted to live more than anyone. His yet short life gave him an even bigger right to survive. Yeah, he's just a kid. Okay. I'll leave you alone.
Know this. I won't get my eyes off you or anyone else.
Go ahead. I have nothing to hide apart from my number. It still wasn't cleared, so he resumed his search, heading somewhere else. He had to... Oh! Ooh! I said I was going to leave coffee for last, so I literally have to follow that. But... fuck it, I'll do coffee. Just because her name is Coffee.
Sitting in one of the tables was Coffee, alone as usual. Didn't look like she was doing anything. From afar it seemed like she was sleeping, but her eyes were open, staring at the floor. Somewhat worried, Bill approached slowly. Are you okay? Her eyes moved towards him while barely moving her head. Their gazes crossed into silence that lasted for a few seconds, until Coffee looked down again with a short response. I'm thinking. Thinking? Yes. True. There's a lot of things to think about right now. I can't think clearly if you're talking. Sorry, I didn't want to bother you, just... No, wait. If I concentrate hard enough, I can think even if you talk. Does that mean you're gonna ignore me? It was a joke. I figured. Really? Yes. Her totally flat voice made it impossible to know if it was sarcasm or not. Why was dealing with that girl so hard? If she was his better half, clearing his objective was going to be impossible. Can I sit? Yes. Still, it was worth a try. At least until he could make sure she wasn't the person he was looking for. Although the seeming lack of a hurry she was showing already made me think it wasn't the case. He sat opposite to her. Coffee had barely moved, as if she was frozen in time. I came to talk about a few things. He wasn't really sure if she was paying attention, but if there was something he had learned from her interactions with her, it was that expecting a response or pressing her wasn't the best strategy. What are you thinking about? Do you hate me? Do you need help on something? First off, thank you! Choices! Do you hate me? Do you hate me? Maybe I'm being too blunt, but I get the impression that that's why you avoid me. I'm not avoiding you. Well, like, maybe not now, but I'm talking about all the times you're silent. Like that! That's what I was talking about! Did I say something that hurt you? Aside from this right now, perhaps. No. Then... But you are a bit annoying. That hurt. That hurt quite a lot. In fact, even more so with that dry and direct tone of hers. But you don't seem to be a bad person. Just annoying. Sorry. I don't treat anybody differently here, though. Now that you mention it, I guess you are like that with everyone, sort of. We're strangers, so it sort of makes sense, but it's still somewhat perplexing. We all need to talk more to survive. Don't you think? When progress seemed to be being made, he crashed into a wall once again. At least now he knew she had nothing to do against him. Mostly nothing. Time to hurry to another topic. Oh, we're just gonna go through all of them, okay. What were you thinking about? What were you thinking about? In a way to escape? That's what won't leave my head. Not about how to win, right? No. Oh, okay. I was thinking about personal matters, as in, of my life as a whole. That was not what Bill had expected. Actually, he hadn't expected any response, but especially not that. Yeah, that's a bit open in comparison to usually, you know. Your life? Aren't you worried about the game? The game is exactly the reason why I'm thinking about my life. Got me there. Got you. Huh? I mean, you're right. Sorry, I had the wrong impression about you. What impression? Well, I had a feeling that you... He wasn't sure if being too honest was a good idea. He tried thinking on some way to make it sound nicer. We're always silent because you were planning something. Something for the game. Had he been too straightforward?
Could be the case.
Is it?
But it's just how I am.
Oh. He had no clue on what to say after that. Both fell silent again. You are a very interesting person to try to talk to. He wasn't going to ask about her personal life, obviously, so it was time to talk about something else. Need help on something?
That's 3.
Huh? 3 what?
You said a couple of things, and that's 3.
I guess I said that, though I didn't mean I only had 2 questions.
Then
It wasn't literal, but if you want to, you can ask me something in exchange.
can you be quiet?
Ow! Am I bothering you too much? You said I could sit, so I thought you didn't mind talking for a bit.
I just said you could sit, not that you could talk.
I guess.
Not like you had to ask me. This table isn't mine. I can't forbid you from sitting on it.
Well, it's common courtesy to ask for permission, you know what I mean? Like, you don't just up and sit right next to some stranger out of fucking nowhere. Unless you're on a bus, but something like that. But you usually ask for permission, like, hey, is it okay if I sit here? Like, it's common courtesy. He thought he had begun to understand her, but again, the doubts returned. It was already quite clear that she wasn't the one he was looking for, so he shouldn't waste more of his and her time. I'll leave you alone in that case. I have things to do too. He got up and started to leave slowly, waiting for an answer. Didn't seem like it would happen until...
You forgot your barman.
Huh? He turned around, and indeed, he had left his barman on the table. He grabbed it and put it away. Luckily, the screen was turned off. If Coffee had seen it by accident, she would have broken one of the core rules. However, while the rule forbid them from looking, she could still have remained silent. And yet, she had decided to help him. Well, thank you. That was kind of you. Thanks. He had to keep looking for some people who could have his same objective. Maybe it's you. Maybe. He found Cigar by herself at the glass panel area, smoking. She doesn't seem to be in high spirits. Makes sense. I feel bad about bothering her, but I need to make sure whether she is or isn't the other half. Bill sensed a distinct empathy for that woman. He couldn't bear the idea of anyone there dying, but he felt especially worried for her. She seemed to be the one suffering the most from it all, having already lost her composure on more than one occasion, as some seemed to almost enjoy the game. It comforted him to have someone acting normal. Moreover, even though he knew nothing about her life, he was pretty sure she had a family that would cry her loss. Of course, that didn't just apply to her. Most of them likely had families, but Cigar was one of the oldest, so she probably had children. A mother, someone irreplaceable. She had to survive no matter what, but that wouldn't be enough for him. All of us have a life to go back to. Doesn't matter how good or bad they are. We can't allow this to take them away. We will all escape. I say as I keep clicking wrong. Excuse me.
Oh, billiards.
Am I intruding?
No, I wasn't doing much. Just trying to get my mind off of all this for a moment.
That's understandable. I'd like to do it too, but I don't think I can. And even if I could, I can't allow myself to. Let's just put that there.
Same here. This really is the last thing I needed in my life.
Oops. She put out the cigar on the nearby ashtray and with her hand invited Bill to sit in front. By the way you talk about it, it sounds like your life isn't going too well. Well, clearly it's worse now than it was and how it was yesterday. There's lots of things to complain about, but I'd still prefer it to having to fear for my life. Of course. If I get out of here, I'm immediately asking for a vacation. I need a break. A lot of work? If there's one good thing about all of this, it's not being on the job. Not like this is better, though. And really, I can't afford a vacation anyways.
God, do I have that feeling.
But when the culprit gets sued to hell, if the police finds him, that is, maybe the reparations I get will change that. It's the only way I can see this positively. Thinking positively, good job.
I'd be happy with getting out alive, but I hope there can be justice, of course. Problem is, we can also end up in jail if we play this mad game to live. That's what I've been saying from the start. We can't be playing this. Sure, but then what do we do? Die? But... The woman raised her hand, stopping. I know, no need to go through this again. We already had this discussion with everyone, and yet we can't help coming back to it. Sorry. Don't worry. Honestly, I know I can't kill anyone, but I'll do what I can to survive. I wonder if inaction would still be considered a crime. Inaction is... well, it really just depends on the situation. Like, if you have knowledge that somebody you know is about to die and you do nothing, or you do nothing to report it, to prevent it, and you let it happen, and they do end up dying, you would be considered culpable, I believe. It's the fact that you had the prior knowledge, and yet you chose to do nothing, and you let it happen. Sure, there's going to be guilt on your conscience, potentially, but the fact that you still made no effort to stop it, it could be considered in a way that you would equally, well, not equally, but you would be potentially considered I don't know how the law works in this sort of situation, but I'm pretty sure you would be considered culpable because you had prior knowledge and yet you chose to do nothing and just let it happen. You would still be punished for that. So, in this sort of situation, though, I don't know how the law would process it. Yes, if others do the killing and I just profit from it. I don't know. If I knew someone was going to kill and I could stop it, not doing it would be abetting it. It wouldn't make me guilty, but that's the ethical way of interpreting it on normal circumstances, but here, saving another can equal sacrificing yourself. That's the problem. I don't want to sacrifice my life, but I also don't want to sacrifice the lives of others. That's why my only option is to save everyone. I know. Still ended up talking about this after all. Yeah. A game this twisted almost seems like it could only be some divine trial to judge us. I'm not particularly religious, and I'd like to think I'm not dead and that this is some type of limbo. Actually, it would all make more sense if that was the case. Not sure if that's better, that'd be better or worse. Worse. It would mean we're already dead. Right. I feel pretty alive, though. If only it was a nightmare, but it's going on for too long. And to think that the exit is right there and we could just go out if we had the guts to escape. But the threat of poison is enough to lock us in. It could be a lie and it wouldn't change a thing. This is all killing my head. Do you want me to bring tea or something? Instead of answering, Cigar took out another cigarette and resumed her activity. Stress relief. They remained silent for a few seconds, in which she lighted it and had her smoke, while Bill focused and remembered the reason he was there. On another topic, is there something I can help you with? He hoped that would be enough, too, if she was the other better half, make her understand. Not tea, but coffee would be good. I don't think coffee will help you calm down. Well, it calms me down.
Are you sure?
Well, if you want, I can go get one.
No, don't worry, I can go. You're not my butler, though it'd be nice to have one.
And with that, she stood up and left for... Should I take that as a confirmation it's not her? Or did she just not understand what I meant? Looks like some of the dialogue is getting mixed up here. Dart's already left, but Lime and Vodka were still there. And of course, Cocktail, who seemed tied down to that place.
Dude, you're so fantastic.
If you say so.
I get that alcohol is a good way to forget all this, but that doesn't make it a good idea, Missy.
Shush! Fransenkun.
What? I don't know what she called me. Does anyone here know German? Is that an insult? Should I feel insulted?
Kan stipera les daki kantatsenere.
What's going on?
What even is that? Is that a real language?
It seems I came at a bad time.
I'm saving that probably. Fuck, I'm saving that though.
Schnung, comrade. Reknung.
Hi.
At least this can work as entertainment so we don't get bored.
Listen, everyone, this whole game is very simple. We grab the weapons, go out, boom, and happy ending. Vi will läsa mer tvoj avon por your kunchaya kan kasa was a city.
We grab the weapons. How the fuck do you know about the weapons?
It's truly impressive. In all my years, I've seen nothing like it.
Wait a minute, that has dark implications that she's number 2. And she knows about the weapons. Unless she's slipping up really badly here. Or maybe, fuck, she's saying weapons just because she can, but I don't know. But the fact that I know that there's a weapons room outside that door. Like, only people in the hall who can go outside and check know this. That has implications that Lime might be number 2. I swear and pledge that I tried to stop her.
How much does she actually drink?
What was needed, so fun?
If you're going to insult me, at least do it in a way I can understand.
I think she just called you a xylophone.
What? Wait, xylophone? What do you mean xylophone?
Don't look at me, I'm only doing the translation. I have no idea either.
You understand her, boy?
Only that last part, I think.
Maybe this young generation does have a future, even if uncertain.
I've had enough of that, girl. I'm leaving.
And the coffee?
Oh, I already forgot it. Cocktail, if you don't mind.
On it.
Coffee's for weaklings.
Cigar sat down trying to stay away from Lime. Bill was starting to feel like he was going nowhere, and staying there was a waste of time. As Cigar didn't seem to be the right person, he had to keep looking. I think I'll be leaving, though. Again, try to calm her down for the council. That'll be an arduous task.
She'll get better.
Name Ladain. He had to keep looking for people who could have his same objective. I can't use other languages. I'm stupid. Oh. You. It might be too obvious if Darts was my other half. It'd be kind of cool, though. Leaning on the billiard table was Gin, looking at her barman, thinking. Maybe she was the person he was searching for. They had barely talked to each other, so he still wasn't sure what to think of her. That seemed to be like the right time to know her better. His first impressions of her had been similar to the ones he had with poker and darts. Smart and, if she decided to win the game, potentially dangerous. Luckily, up to that point, she had remained neutral, contributing to the council's and, above all else, working as Lime's counterbalance. A strange pair. Let's see if I get lucky. Are you free right now?
Oh, Bill, just in time.
Just in time?
We're starting to get bored, and who better to play a round of billiards than you?
I could have sworn that I already said I've never played it 1 hour ago. Sorry.
Nah, just kidding. I remember. Having someone to talk to is enough. And I think it's the first time we're talking alone. Good time to ask some things.
He'd approached wanting to ask, but suddenly he was the one being questioned. It was fair, though, and perhaps she had the same question. Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess so. You're often with poker or Lime.
Yeah, it's like I'm a weirdo magnet.
I thought you got along well with them, or at least with poker, because Lime is... Well, you know that better than I do, actually.
It's just complaining for complaining's sake. I'm actually cool with them for having just met them. And really, a weirdo like me is gonna attract other weirdos. Nothing weird about that. Honestly, prefer it that way. Makes me stand out less.
I can relate to that. Actually, nobody here seems normal, be that good or bad. Probably both.
You think so? You seem pretty normal to me.
I do my best to seem so. You also seem normal to me.
Thanks. Oh, and don't tell Lime any of this. Just because I'm cool with her doesn't mean I want her to cling to me all day. Not like that's the biggest problem I have today. Not by a mile, as you can imagine.
Yeah, same. So, going back to what you were saying, what do you want to ask?
Ah yes, we went completely off tracks. And you also wanted to ask something. We aren't in a position to waste too much more time, so I'll be frank. Do you really think we can all come out of this one alive?
He hadn't known what to expect, but the question ended up being the one he had gotten several times by then. Noticing his reaction, Gin continued.
Personally, I still don't have enough proof to be sure, but that's also my goal.
Huh? Really?
Surprised?
A little. I mean, I guess a bit. It's not that I thought you would play, just...
Oh no, I'll play. Just not in the way our kidnapper wants us to play. I'm not gonna let anybody control me like some puppet. We both seem to have the same conviction, but there's a key difference. I might be too pragmatic.
What do you mean with that?
I want the same thing you do, but until I can be sure it's possible, my focus will be somewhere else, uncovering this game's secrets.
So you think it's not possible?
More like there doesn't seem to be a way right now. But that doesn't mean there never will be. Classic devil's proof.
Yes! Devil's proof! Where's Hempel's raven? I'm sorry. Can you say that in red? Devil what?
Basically, you can't prove it doesn't exist. That's why I'm asking. I want to know if it's really just a conviction that pushes you, or do you have something planned?
Sorry to disappoint you then. I still don't have anything solid. But I think the key lies in collaborating with two.
That would be the only conclusion with what we know. Finding out who it shouldn't be hard with the data. It's just a matter of time that we all know everybody's numbers.
Are you sure? That wouldn't be good. There are several rules that most will want to remove, and if they discover who has them...
That's why we have to think fast and act even faster. Time is vital. But my gloomy side's telling me we got a bad hand.
Ending up here is already pretty unlucky.
Duh, but that's not what I'm saying.
I'm just gonna... We got drunk.
I mean the conditions we received. If either you or me had number 2, things would be quite different, for example.
Oh, I see.
He tried the best he could to hide his lack of knowledge on his own number. You have to play with the hand you're given, like it or not. And it doesn't look like we'll get another go at this. It's all or nothing. Ah, shit. Starting to sound like poker. Too much time playing with him. Still owes me a rematch.
Then we should keep investigating, right?
For sure, always. And at least if the game turns out badly and we can't escape, we have to uncover who's behind this and give them what they deserve.
It might sound weird, but I'm not very interested in that. If we can all survive, that's enough for me.
Actually, I'd say that's more ambitious, but why? Are you not even curious of the reason why we're here?
I mean, I'm curious, to be honest.
Yeah, sure. I would like to know, but I'd be happy enough just getting my life back. And on top of that, I don't think I could understand someone capable of building this game. Hearing their motives probably wouldn't help at all. It would just confuse me more.
Actually, you might be right on that. There's really only 2 options, money or insanity.
Probably madness. Must be some sadist. How could someone get money out of this?
Technically speaking, this is a kidnapping. They can ask for ransom, or maybe it's just entertainment. Or we have an audience. You ever heard of that game called Danganronpa? Yeah, not pretty. But that's the sort of darkness that this world's capable of. Clearly, whatever it is, it's not something we'll agree with. So there must be justice.
I'll leave justice to the police.
As you should. Oh, and what did you want from me?
I almost forgot the objective! It's a simple question. It might sound a bit weird, but...
Yo, what's up, my dudes?
Here it comes. Oh boy. I knew it.
How send is the line?
Lime seemed to appear out of nowhere. This is how it felt to him. In reality, though, the counter was quite close by. She had simply stood up and walked up to them, glass still in her hand.
Hi, Lime.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
I see you've been drinking.
Drink I did, drank so much of the celestial treat with such exquisite sweetness, yet I can't compare to the one you exude.
What?
Oh, Guinevere, grant me a dance.
Oh dear, you're wasted as fuck. Don't do more harm to yourself.
Wasted? What? I didn't waste any of it. Call the bottle and not a drop left.
We can tell. No need to swear it.
And I'll drink every single one, make sure no never wasted. Come, my dear, let's sit on the beach and share them under the moon, and then...
Seriously, how much did you actually drink?
Not enough, mon chéri.
Objection.
Go on a walk. Maybe that'll get it out of your system.
Yeah, let's go for a walk. Embrace me in your warmth. Beer, you're here.
You didn't see me? And could you not distort my name so much? Doing it a bit doesn't bother me, but...
Are you trying to call him or trying to conjure a spell?
Guinevere Gungagi Lipasailbor.
Get that curse off me, I beggeth of thee.
Thee shalt never escapeth this prison of loveth.
You got a thing for her again? I think we should carry her back to the counter. Sit her down so she calms down.
Yeah, right, so she can drink even more.
cocktail can give her water or something. I don't think he'd give her more alcohol in the condition she's in. I hope.
I really don't have a clue why he gave us so much to begin with. It's incredible how she defies the laws of physics by staying still while she's in that state.
I'll get that Nobel Prize no matter the cost. I'll do it. Are you?
Sure, come on, I'll carry you. Otherwise you might end up kissing the floor.
Oh, por favor, foi il mio amore mais apetar here.
I can do it myself if you want.
Nah, she clearly wants me to do it, and I think I'm the most qualified person here to deal with her.
Okay. We didn't ask.
Come on, time to move. Grab my arm, and just my arm.
If her arm was I should treasure and be content with it. For now.
Oh, before you go.
True, you were going to say something. Go on.
Are you looking for someone?
Looking? I'm always looking.
Carmel?
I'm talking about something more specific.
No, I'm not that.
Did she get it? Okay, never mind then.
Good luck. Though maybe I'm the one that needs the most luck right now.
Oh, thanks for helping anyway.
Why?
Come on, to bed with you. Bye, Bill.
Hasta la vista, Bilby.
Lime grabbed onto Gein's arm like a barnacle, and together... well, that was an experience. He hadn't found the better half, but something unexpected in its place. Gein seemed to be on his side, sort of. It seemed like if he wanted Gein to join him, he'd need a more solid plan. However, if they both searched in their separate ways, there was a bigger chance of finding the solution to that riddle. I'm gonna save. But for the time being, he had to keep looking for that half. Alright. All that's left is, you. Are you the other half? Let's find out. Going down the stairs, Bill noticed Darts was sitting on the council table, barman on hand, as if he was already ready to start the next one. His eyes fixed on the screen, as usual showed a silent determination that could awake the curiosity of any observer. I'm just going to save up here. But what drove Bill to wanting to unravel Dart's mind wasn't mere curiosity. Since their last talk, he really felt that he was hiding something important. Enemy or potential ally? From his perspective, he had no enemies besides the owner, but that didn't mean he was so naive as to think that his view was mutual. He had to move carefully. What are you doing here?
Got fed up with the drunkard. I hope I'd be more peacey here.
I'd be at peace. Wasn't expecting such a casual answer. Now what do I say? Maybe I jumped the gun. Oh, am I bothering then?
As long as you stay quiet, do whatever you want.
Actually, I wanted to talk to you.
Is it urgent?
A bit. Dart sighed and turned off his barman screen.
Well, at least you passed the alcohol test. What do you need?
Before anything else, he had to take care of the objective. He knew it would sound weird no matter what, so he just spewed it out. Are you looking for someone? Dart's reaction was immediate, staring straight at Bill. He felt threatened for a moment, as if he was going to attack him.
What do you know?
Huh? About what?
Are you really one of them?
No, don't overthink it. The tables had turned. Now he was the one being interrogated for his secrets, which were almost non-existent as far as the game was concerned. Thrown off balance, he was forced to go into defense.
What am I supposed to think then?
Raising up, he approached, making Bill take a step back. Not whatever it is you're thinking. That'd have been a bad idea, but running away wasn't an option.
First, fine. Let's play this game. I answer you, you answer me.
don't think I'm going to like this game either.
I'm searching for someone. Several people, actually.
Several? He could probably be crossed out as well.
Now tell me, are you the Void?
The Void? The Void?
No. All right. You can go.
All the tension was suddenly gone. Darts turned around and went back to his spot, focusing again on his barman. What just happened? What's the Void?
You expect me to answer that?
No, not really, to be honest, but after what just happened, I had to ask.
Best if you forget it.
Do you know something we don't? Again, Darts lifted his gaze, but without putting down his barman.
No.
That is clearly a lie. Again, the expected answer. Whatever it is, I hope it's something that can help us. If they're watching us, I realize there are some things that are better kept secret.
If they are watching us? I highly doubt the whole system can be automated, so I would say they are.
Well, yeah, I guess, but that's not the important part of what I said.
If you're expecting any sort of confirmation for whatever you're thinking, you aren't getting one. I won't deny I have some ideas, but don't expect me to be our savior. Unlike you, I'm not aiming for a perfect end.
Why? Are you so sure it's impossible?
It's not about being possible or impossible. If by some miracle we'd all survive, great news, but that's simply not my priority.
I kind of get where he's kind of coming from. He's trying his best not to be too idealistic. If the best end happens, then good, it happens. But he's trying to plan around it if that best end never comes around. He's trying to think outside the box and trying to think multiple directions of which this entire thing can go. He's trying to be realistic in a sense. But still, it's like he's trying to put all of the pieces together in his head, no matter what direction that this entire thing goes. I don't understand. What other priority can there be? What's more important than our lives? Yours? He stopped himself from saying it. He shouldn't get too shaken up. Didn't want to assume too much. Above all, he wasn't into making enemies.
Our lives are the most important thing, but it's not my duty to make sure everyone keeps theirs. Each one of us must do what we can to live. I won't sacrifice anybody if I don't need to, but I also won't sacrifice myself for no one.
In a way, it was exactly as he'd imagined, but for some reason, it hadn't sounded as selfish as he'd expected. Maybe because it was the most human way of viewing it. Even then, he could not fully agree. Is that your goal?
No. I want to survive, but I aim for something more. The truth.
I like how there's a little bit of a ding every time that there is a suspicious message being put up here. Can't the police take care of that?
Police will do their job and I'll do mine.
Your job?
And if you don't have anything else to ask, I'd ask you to leave me alone for a bit.
I have a lot to ask, but it doesn't look like you're going to give me any answer. In any case, he couldn't waste too much time there. There was still an objective to fulfill. With a sigh, he accepted. Fine, I'll leave. Good luck with that search for the truth, but be careful.
Sure, very careful.
It didn't sound very convincing, but the conversation ended there. There were lots of things to wonder about Darts, but one worried him more than the rest. Could he trust Darts? Could he trust his words? Could he become an ally? He didn't want to consider him or anyone an enemy. But what did Darts think of him and the rest? After going up the steps, he pondered it for a moment, again and again, without reaching any conclusion, until he realized he was wasting too much time. He left the topic aside and returned his focus to the objective. The search had to go on. There was not many people left. Actually, there's nobody left! Fuck! 2:40. The barman's alarm went off, catching him off guard. 5 minutes left for the council and his objective still wasn't done yet. And in his case, that meant he wasn't the only one with that problem. Shivers, sweat, panic. Everything hit him at once. Quickly, almost by instinct, he ran to the counter again.
Here again?
Salutations!
There's only a few minutes left for the council.
True, we'll have to get ready, but as you can see, a certain person is still indisposed.
That's just it!
I don't believe he was referring to me.
I don't know.
There's no time for this. We have to... No, he couldn't go to the council yet. His objective still wasn't done. It had to be one of the players I hadn't talked to, but in the short time left, there was no way to talk to each of them separately.
What are you doing there still?
From afar came Piano heading to the council area. Near him was also poker and coffee.
Oh well, if we have to.
Being here is so good.
I think I won't serve you any more drinks.
You shouldn't have been serving her so many drinks in the first place.
Come on, lift your rear up, miss.
Hi, darkness, my old pal.
Wait, can we talk first?
Talk? About what?
Something important.
Better to discuss it in the council in that case.
His mind went blank. He had no idea how to do it without revealing his objective. All headed to the council, and he had to do so as well. Lost, he looked at his barman. At the start of every hour, each player will be assigned a secret objective that has to be completed before the next one without being discovered. Was there a way? What if he's Rule 9? If a player dies, the associated rule will be removed from the game permanently. But wait a minute. Attempted suicide. That's the rule for number 9. But he hasn't done that. No! I can't think about that. There has to be another way.
Bill, 2 minutes left. Hurry!
From the council table, he heard Poker's warning. There was no other escape. He had to go and find a solution during the council.
Ooh, fuck me. It's a bit of a problem.
Oh. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. All right, here we go. Council time. Oh, man. I'm gonna say it again. This is a big fucking demo. I gotta give props to the devs. Good job. With legs trembling, he sat on his spot. The rest were already there, waiting.
Okay, now we can start.
Was there a way to communicate with the other better half and confirm their objectives in secret? Seemed impossible. At least he had to talk to most of them. There were only had a few candidates left, so he didn't think finding the right one would be hard, but there was another big issue. If he hadn't done his objective, the other half would be the same. So it should have been easy to see, and yet nobody looked particularly nervous. Only him. How is it possible? Any person about to die would be desperate to save themselves by that point. Unless, maybe, I am rule number 9. But then that's something... Oh, a terrible possibility came to mind. Maybe the other half was rule 9. The one who didn't need to fulfill their objective to survive the hour. Oh! That thought didn't even occur to me! Oh, I am fucked.
The third council.
Oh boy. Here we go. Let me fix things first.
Once again, we should begin with number 3.
Yes, is anybody willing?
do it. Not much to lose for me now. He partially believed that, while at the same time getting the feeling that such a way of thinking implied he had already given up on his life. What could he do to be saved? What did he have to do? Stay silent. No, he couldn't add any more risk to his already endangered life. He still didn't know his number for certain. He couldn't take that step yet. But was someone willing to do it? It seemed not, so it did. However... Oh!
I'm two, yeah!
All their gazes went to the young woman, apparently still under the alcohol's influence. But in the opposite state to her previous euphoria, she seemed tired, almost asleep, as if her batteries had run out. I think she is number 2 for real. Lime, what?
You want a number, nah? And there you go, number. No biggie.
But are you sure?
Even if she said it drunk, rules don't mention anything about takebacks. What's done is done.
True, but one thing worries me. If she said it drunk, does she know what she's done? Yeah. She doesn't appear to.
What's wrong? I gave the number, right?
It was on that moment when most of them started to notice something.
Lime, dear, stay awake and listen for a moment. The number you give out. You know it shouldn't be your actual number, right?
Huh?
Not your real number, but any other that hasn't been said in the other councils.
You didn't actually say... I think I was right. Accusal initiated against Rule 2. Before Lime could answer, the dreaded message appeared on the screen. Someone had taken the chance. Lime saw the message, and her face completely shifted. Her sleepiness disappeared at once, leaving only surprise and panic. They couldn't talk now. Just write a name. Had she given her real number by mistake? Was her life in danger? Although his own life was hanging from a thread, he couldn't help but worry about Lime's life. Without putting much thought into it, he decided to write darts. By just clicking D, the rest was auto-completed. The voting process only took a few seconds, and the results followed. No one has obtained a majority vote. Accusal closed. Oh! Lime's scream caught everyone by surprise. Even though she had been saved, it didn't feel like it. What's going on? Was that your number?
No, I'm not two.
Oof. What's wrong then? She suddenly ran out of breath. All traces of the Lime they knew up until then were gone. For starters, they couldn't know if she was saying the truth then. She really could be too. Even if she's not, she had to be scared from having to reveal her real number if we had voted for her. I guess.
At least the shock seemed to clear her head. Now she just needs to relax.
Lime stared at her barman as if she had been possessed, while simultaneously breathing in quite excessively.
Well, let's just keep going for now, right?
I suppose, but now I'm worried for the girl. Everyone was somewhat lost, not knowing how to proceed. She was drunk! They had avoided a possible death, or at the very least, the forced reveal of someone's number, but Bill still feared for his life. Wait! I should make use of this opportunity! Taking advantage of the temporarily frozen state of the council, he focused on the task at hand. A solution had to be found on an escape. He had to find the other person with the same objective as him, otherwise he would break Rule 9, but it could be too late. Had it been broken already? No, there's still time! At the start of every hour, each player will be assigned a secret objective that has to be completed before the next one, without being discovered. The time to complete it would end at the start of the next hour, and it still wasn't 3. There was still time, even if not much. How could it be done in the council? Messaging app? No, I can't do that. Through one of the rules. It's not possible. Talking to the others? I can't use the messaging app. Talking to the others. Revealing he hadn't cleared his objective didn't seem like a good idea, mainly because he couldn't reveal which one it was, so there was nothing they could do. There was also the fear someone would say too much and get it right, breaking the rule. Or perhaps there was a way to imply it that the other half would notice. How did the hour go for you?
Where did that come from?
We needed a topic, so I thought of that one. I presume you can all imagine what I was doing. It doesn't seem like anybody did much of anything.
You sure? I'm not. Maybe 2 did. Like going out in secret, for example?
That'd be rough, but not impossible.
I had some issues this hour.
Huh? With what? His objective, probably.
Can we talk about those once they're done?
I'm not really sure. I wouldn't, just in case.
I'd say no, not until the hour ends.
Though that makes me curious about which ones you got last time.
Let's not waste time on pointless matters, please.
It's not like we have much time, or not much to talk about by the look of things.
Are you sure? You should take this more seriously.
And you should chill.
That didn't go as I hoped. Is there some information I can get from that? Through one of the rules. Maybe one of the rules contained the solution, but which one? Probably rule 9? Rule 9. Bill thought about it hard, looking for ways it could help him, but there was nothing on that rule that could save him. Uh-oh. That's bad. But there was still time to think. Couldn't give up. Let me try looking through one of the rules again. I'm allowed to... Interesting, I'm not allowed to click... Wait. Oh, now I'm allowed... Wait. I might have chosen the wrong thing. The person with the accused number will have to abstain from voting. May after a ruler's death. Each castle by city publicly line is logically. What if data? No? So number 7's not allowed to be picked. Number 8's not allowed to be picked. It will only let me pick 9, huh? It won't let me go back to the... Uh-oh. Oh! Uh-oh. Uh-oh! We found a bug! Uh-oh. I think I actually found a bug. That's bad. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Damn, that was freaky. That was scary though, having her like reveal her number by accident. Stay silent's the correct option here. That was still like that was legitimately terrifying as soon as somebody just like attacked her like that. Like, goddamn. Okay, so skip through this. There's still time. Okay. Using the messaging app. Messages seem like the ideal solution. Perfect for finding the right person. Well, I forgot that, sorry. However, he quickly found a big problem. In order to send messages that weren't responses, Rule 8 was needed. And he couldn't be sure that was his number, as according to the data received, it could be 2, 6, or 8. Lime had said she was 2, but as part of Rule 3, and had denied it afterwards, so even with her previous intoxicated state, he couldn't discard it. Did he have to risk it to a 33% chance of having Rule 8? No. You don't have Rule number 8 because you had a message sent to you, which means that they themselves were Rule number 8. Which again, since that proved that you don't have Rule 8, that also means you don't have Rule number 2, since you died in that bad ending, which means you have to be Rule number 6. If I do this, I die! Scheisse! Look for another way. No, too risky. He had to keep thinking. It's not possible. No matter how much he meditated, he couldn't find any way to do it on the council. Rules were already out of consideration, but the game contained more than just the 10 main rules that the players represented. He looked at his barman and its menus again. The game is won and the shall be rewarded. Each player has a numbered rule associated with them. Players can break that rule without penalty or limit. A link between two players can only be the original player dies, these will be removed from the game permanently. I only just now looked at this. Investigator. Find out one secret from one person. Find a new hint. The explorer. That's what I was. Better half. Find the other player with his objective unfulfilled. There will be 2 per hour, and it won't count as revealing the secret objective. But after the 6th hour, the max number will increase to 3. Choose an alive player. If not chosen in the first 10 minutes of the hour, it will be assigned randomly. If they are to be eliminated, you will be eliminated instead. If they die, you have to reveal your number publicly. If you receive this objective again, the chosen player will be the same, but if they are dead, you will have to choose again. Only after the 6th hour. Discover this. Revealing a secret objective without the need of evidence will count as an intended kill. Uh-oh. Well, I bugged it again. Shit. But don't worry. Welcome to the Let's Play of Sabata 92, aka Nightmare, where I casually break the game so long I go. Okay, let's do this a little bit more carefully here. I'm gonna try something. Again, I'm thinking she might actually be number 2, because she mentioned something about weapons, for God's sake. That already puts a big negative against her right off the bat. And only people who have been out in the hallway know that there are weapons out there. And if she really is number 2, of course she would survive. You know what? Yes, but maybe he already broke the rule, but was still alive. The poison was still dormant. He couldn't give up. What could he do otherwise? Was there an alternative? He desired to live. But if his death was inevitable, at least he wanted to use his life to help the rest. And the only way to do that was... Warning, you have broken the core rule. You will now be eliminated from the game. No player can leave a council until it has been declared finished. That's what one of the base rules stated. Or... maybe he was Rule 9, but no, it didn't fit his data. In any case, there was no turning back anymore. He had to ignore their looks and screams. He had acted in the presumption that he had already broken a rule, so nothing had really changed. Regretting his big mistake was pointless. And yet, he couldn't avoid doing it. And while he did so, he had to keep moving. He had another rule he had to break, the second one. Nobody could stop him. If they tried, they too would break the rules. The poison would kill him in less than 15 minutes. In that time, he had to find the antidote, the exit, or at least the truth behind it all. Bad end. Here it comes. Clearly that was not going to happen. Futility. Hey there. Welcome once more. Alas, you came back here, though thankfully no death lasts forever for you. That same cannot be said for the unfortunate rules, however. So what mournful tragedy led to the end of your life this time? Let us be honest, the conclusion of this path was obvious, and so going into any details is pointless. No doubt a death barely worth being talked about, a waste of time. Or did you expect something else? Did you actually believe that this road would take you somewhere else? I doubt it. Even thinking that you could have taken this decision naively is impossible. You took it knowing full well that you would end up here. Did you desire to see me so much? Did you think that would gain you my affection? That I would reveal something about myself? Sorry, but that is not going to happen. Neither here nor now. But maybe someday.
Or maybe knowing that the rule known as billiards would escape the Golden Jack if he ended up in this desperate scenario. You took this choice, expecting to see what was on the other side of the door. Does that mean this is your first time? Even speculating on your mental process is futile, as you cannot respond, only listen. For what reason do I speak with one who cannot answer? What's the meaning of all this? Is everything futile? In that case, it would probably be better to end this conversation here. But if we ended this here, this will be a complete waste of time in every possible way. And that would really be unacceptable, even for a little ending like this one, barely worth mentioning. So, I will bid farewell, little hint. Maybe that will redeem this time wasted for both, or at least for you.
Good, tell me!
Inside this futile end lies a very small vital hint to solve everything. Maybe in that sense there is actually some value. Still, I would advise against thinking too hard on it. Watching it again and again would be the actual worthless exercise. You'd be much better off letting this journey continue and letting it flow. If you think you know what I am referring to, good for you. If you truly do not know what I'm referring to, good job. That is all I was saying. Amazing, even the situation I managed to say so much, even if most of it was pointless. Very fitting. This proves that no matter how you die, I will be awaiting. Though I would prefer if you did not abuse my time and valued more your own. Let's make a toast in honor of a fruitful game, and the souls of these lost rules, for the Golden Jack and for our dearest owner. A small vital hint. A small vital hint.
This one's not as straightforward. It makes it a lot harder. Let's see what happens if I give a number this time. Condemned to death or not, he had to take that step to save everyone else. With the decision made, he had to choose a number. And once decided, Oh, she went with it anyway. It's literally just gonna be the same thing from the looks of it. Yep. She doesn't realize that she's... Yep. And it went down a little bit. Okay, everything calm down. So I have to be real... I gotta do this differently. There's still time. Okay. No matter how much he meditated. Okay, we looked at the barman. Ignore this stuff. At any moment, except accusals, a player can request the end of the council. If all attending players accept, the council will close. If it couldn't get done during the council, it would have to be after it. Normally a council finished at the end of the hour, but if it ended sooner, he'd have time to save himself. It wouldn't be much time, but just enough. Only one hurdle on that plan. Everyone had to agree on ending the council much sooner than normal. Raising his eyes from the screen, he looked again at the group. Hey, let's focus.
But But what?
Can't expect us to do much if you don't tell us what's wrong first.
It's just...
Perhaps the alcohol has affected her more than expected. What did you take? Vodka? Tequila?
No, nothing too particularly strong. The actual mistake was the amount, clearly more than she could take.
Let's let her rest while we continue the council. Yes, let's do that. But what do we talk about?
That's the problem.
Here we go. Now's my chance. About that, I have a proposal.
Okay, shoot!
After what has happened in Lime State, and with nothing new to talk about, I think we should finish the council now.
Huh? We've barely started.
But we did Rule 3.
Yeah, we can technically finish it already if we all agree according to the rules.
Should we? To be honest, I don't have much to add to the conversation.
Still, it doesn't feel right.
Who cares if it's right or not? If you have something to say it.
I admit I've got nothing new to say either, but...
Let's finish then.
That's some sudden energy there. All good?
Yes. No.
What?
And here I was thinking I was the senile one.
Let's finish. I need to rest.
Anybody against ending the council? Nobody answered. Not even Darts had a good reason to complain.
Sure then, if that's how it is.
Fine. But we can't afford to do this again. We don't have much time. 7 hours to be exact.
Yeah! We have to do something for sure. But for the time being, the third council would conclude there. Still 10 minutes left for 3 o'clock. That was his time limit. The second better half had to be found in that time, although their identity was already within his grasp. All pointed towards that person being... Let's see. I gotta think about this. It might be Lime. I say Lime because, well, she was drunk, maybe. Realistically, it seemed like she was drunk the entire time. So... That, and she was also incredibly hurried to want to get this thing over with. I'm still of the mind that she's probably rule number 2, though. I say this because she's not really she's the only person we haven't talked to. I'm assuming. I might be wrong, though. Lime, I need to talk with you after the council, in private.
What?
Okay?
Yeah, sure, Billy.
Good. I'm probably wrong. It was clear. Her attitude was strange. A clear panic. It was like seeing his reflection on a mirror. The same panic he had been afflicted with since council time arrived. The terror of encroaching death. Not only that, she was one of the few he hadn't talked to in private during the hour, and it also explained why he hadn't been able to find her. In her state, she had forgotten about her objective completely, until the alcohol's effects disappeared, probably after the shock caused by the accusation. The pieces fell into place. Bill pushed the council end button, and the rest sustained it. Please tell me I was right. Please tell me I was right. I hope I was right! With the council finished much sooner than normal, the antidotes would take 10 more minutes to arrive. So while previously they all went for them together, this time each one went on their separate ways. His intention had been to go somewhere where he could be alone with Lime, but by just waiting a bit, they were the only left on the table. As soon as the last one to leave, Vodka at a slow pace went up the stairs.
Tell me, it's you!
Lime basically jumped at him, ready to shake him. Yes, I am. If you're talking about what I think you are. Anyways.
Are you the... Can I say it?
Yes, in this case you can. I'm the better half.
Oh, thank God! Almost had a heart attack!
Not so loud. And say it too.
I'm the other better half.
They waited for a moment, staring at their barman, and indeed... Oh, thank God! They both let out a big sigh of relief, practically at the same time. And again, Lime jumped at him, but this time to hug him.
Thank you, seriously.
Oh my God, she's actually crying.
And really sorry. I started drinking and lost count of how much and the time and everything, I guess, before I realized I was already in the council and this wasn't done and I almost died and...
No, calm down. Don't worry. The important thing is that we're saved. I'm also partly at fault for not realizing until the council.
No, it's my fault, seriously. Even if you had not noticed, my zonked brain would not have understood anything you said whatsoever.
Can't deny that. But still, even if you should learn from this, don't be too harsh on yourself.
No, trust me, I know me well. In an hour or two, this will be gone from my head and I'll just do it all over again. I need to really push it in.
I don't think Cocktail will give you that much alcohol again, even if you ask.
You might be right on that. So then, all good? No problem? You forgive me?
Oh, come on, of course I do. He really had a good enough reason to be mad at her, but she did seem to feel bad about what she'd done, and he wanted to avoid conflicts with anyone. Seriously, are you gonna take this seriously now? Also, he couldn't deny her energy cheered up the group. While she was panicking, everyone had become lost, not knowing how to continue the council. As long as it doesn't happen again, I forgive you.
You're the best, Bill.
And once again came the hug. Hey, I'm accepting the hug. We need a little bit of happiness in this despair-inducing situation, okay? She did at least say his name right for once. Well, it wasn't his real name. Not even close. And she was the one who shortened it to Bill, but whatever.
I said, oh, she'll apologize to everyone else.
For what? For ending the council like that? No, because I believe she's number 2.
No, for worrying them, and for whatever I did while I was out.
What did I even do, by the way? I really don't remember anything at all.
I think it's better left that way.
Oof, was I that bad? Yikes, I kind of want to know the details, but also really don't.
You should just talk with Gin.
With Ginger? Why?
Well, you had a colorful talk.
Wait, don't tell me that...
That... what?
Did I hit on her?
You did a little bit more than hitting on her, yes.
Well... Oh no.
I guess you could say that.
Wait, like for real? Did I do good?
Don't ask me, you'd be one to ask her.
Then who am I gonna ask? I don't have the time machine with me now. Can't ask my past self. Okay, fine. I also have to trust my past tipsy, horny self.
To be honest, you probably shouldn't.
Holy moly, that bad? I mean, yeah, it must happen.
Does she do it often? Let's just say she was slightly annoyed.
Nothing new there.
More than usual, though, I think.
Yikes. The shame is killing me inside.
She really has this energy of bouncing back from despair, which is very refreshing. Although her annoyance seemed to be more due to your attitude.
She didn't reject me?
I guess not.
Mamma mia, mon Dieu!
Let's just leave it at that. It's for the best.
You just blew my mind hardcore, B-boy, and it's in better shape than minutes ago.
Is that good or bad?
Not sure yet.
Okay.
Now I need to talk to her. Well, maybe I should wait a bit. Actually, probably should apologize to Cocktail first for exploiting his services.
Yes. Yeah, he felt kinda guilty.
He's probably at the counter, I'm guessing.
She got up and took one big breath right away.
Okay, I think I calmed down a bit. Too many extreme emotions in a row.
Yeah, too many for sure.
We were almost poofed.
Yeah, almost.
I'm sorry again.
No need to repeat it.
Sorry.
Don't start with that.
Okay, I'll stop messing around. You coming?
Still 10 minutes left for 3, when the antidotes would come down. I'll go later. Bet if you two talk alone.
Okie dokie. In that case, hasta luego, amigo.
The second hour was almost done, and that meant one thing. Of course, he'd wait until he took his antidote before making any decisions, and the data he received would also be important. But we do have an issue with skipping dialogue every now and then. 2:58. When he looked at the time, the hour was almost done, so he made his way to the counter. There he found cocktails, cigar, vodka, and piano. No lime in sight, though. Nah, she's probably trying to live off the shame that just happened. Cocktail? Weren't you with Lime? No, I haven't seen her since the council. She went searching for you. Were you not here? No, I came just a few minutes ago. I've been here most of the time, so I decided to take a walk for a change. And just then, as if summoned, she appeared.
Ah, there you are!
Yes, here I am.
You aren't coming for more, right, miss?
I hope you learned your lesson. I did, at the very least.
I'm sorry to worry you guys. Not gonna happen again, promise. I'm fine now.
Well, fine by your standard.
Which means fine.
Well, if you say so.
By the way, miss, one question. How conscious were you when you said the number?
Number?
When you said your number was 2.
I said that?
Uh-oh.
Great.
You passed Rules 3 saying that, and that's why someone started the
Oh! Now everything's starting to make sense.
Yes. Sense.
I was basically on autopilot at that point, I think.
But it's not your real number.
Yes. I mean, no.
Can't be both at the same time.
Yes, then it's not my real number. I'm not 2, nor a cat.
Huh?
It seems.
Doesn't just seem I'm not.
Well, even though you're on autopilot, let's trust that the pilot had enough control to not give your number away. I think she's number 2.
Right. Yet not enough to keep my mouth shut.
I wonder why.
Well then, all's good then, right?
I guess, yes. The lift came down carrying a tray with the 10 antidote-filled drinks. Finally, the hour change had arrived, which means more data. Are we sure that the lift can't be a way to escape? We already tried, but unfortunately, not even Piano is capable of it. Either way, if someone is operating it, I doubt they would raise it if one of us was on top. Cocktail grabbed the tray and put it on the counter, and same as in the preceding hours, distributed the drinks. The others didn't take long to arrive, and like the previous times, they started to feel the poison's effects on their bodies. This time, however, they were present just as the antidotes arrived, so they recovered quickly. With that, the third hour was over, the toughest one yet. Moreover, aside from being the toughest, Billiards had noticed a change. Even though he'd taken the antidote just a couple of minutes after they'd arrived, he had felt the poison. The symptoms were mild, yet in previous hours they hadn't been noticeable for at least 5 minutes. Was the poison speeding up? The longer they stayed there, the worse things would get. They certainly wouldn't improve. Neither the poison, nor the game. Was it worth it to remain there, waiting for a solution to be found, or did he have to bet his life in search of another way? Since Lime had left, he'd been trying to answer those questions. He didn't want to, but his life was already in danger. Better make that bet than suffer a slow death inside that bar. It felt like a dead end. Nobody was willing to cooperate with him. It was possible he was the only one left not actively playing the game. If nothing was done soon, something would happen. He went into his data list and opened the one for the new hour, hoping to finally figure out his number. Takes strolls regularly. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. Although it still ruled out another number, Rule 8. That just regularly confirms that 8 is Rule 6. This data, I think it applies to me. For the first time, he could see himself reflected in one of them. Albeit regularly was an ambiguous way of phrasing it that factored in subjectivity. Even so, he was confident he fit in. Between leaving work and returning home, he very often took the chance to take a stroll. It relaxed him, and it was the only way to change up his routine. Though it had become a part of his daily routine too, really. They weren't particularly long, but enough to be considered a stroll. Which meant that 2, 4, 6, or 10, among those 4 numbers, was a zone. It was slightly frustrating that it took a few hours to get it, as by that point he'd already ruled out most of them. On a positive note though, it didn't include 8, one of his few remaining options. Then I only have 2 possible numbers still under consideration. 2, you must remain inside the golden jack. 6, in an accusal, the person with the accused number will have to abstain from voting. If a majority is reached, but the chosen person is incorrect, the accusers won't be able to vote that person again in future accusations. You are number 6. Could he really be number 2? It was a 50-50. Slowly he stood up. The decision had been made. His legs were shaking. Clearly he wasn't really mentally ready to do it, but he would never be. He turned his back on the counter and... Whose drink is the one left? Huh? Huh? Confused, he turned around again. On top of the counter, his eyes zoomed through his surroundings, and so did everyone else's. The problem quickly became apparent. One person was missing. Lime, cocktail, vodka, poker, cigar, piano, coffee, darts. The only person missing was... Where is Gin? Is this her drink? It's possible. No, there's no doubt it's hers. A knockout.
Where did she go now? Guinevere! Guinea!
But no answer came. We have to find her. If she doesn't drink the antidote in time... That was all that needed to be said. With a few words, they all ran out to find her, shouting her name. It shouldn't be hard to find her by working together. The bar wasn't too big, and the counter made up a good part of it. Bill, Lime, and Cocktail went to the west side first. Perhaps she'd simply fallen asleep at one of the tables. But they quickly saw that wasn't the case. Nobody was there. Perhaps she stayed in the lower level after the council.
No, nobody stayed there, unless you went back later for some reason.
They went back to the counter, but at that moment, Bill's eyes saw the exit. A possibility went through his head. What if Gin was number 2? Maybe she had left and hadn't come back yet. After all, he himself had almost done it, but decided to drink the antidote beforehand. But it only made sense if she'd gone out for something quick, and something unexpected had happened.
Billy, now's not the time for an introspective internal monologue.
Oh god, you're right. As Lime was getting him out of his little trance, another voice shouted from near the corner of the bar.
There's nobody here!
Where could she have gone?
Instantly, his body ran towards the exit.
Hey, where are you going now?
The only option left is... Both turned around. Another shout came out of the east area of the bar.
The door isn't opening! Grab the cup!
And with that, Lime ran off. He wasn't sure why she didn't just simply grab it herself, but it wasn't a good time to complain about something so irrelevant. He ran to the counter and grabbed Gein's cup. He had to be careful, go as fast as possible without spilling it. The path was short, but felt infinite. Finally, they reached the origin of the screams where everyone was, the bathroom area. The door of the women's bathroom was open. They had looked there, of course. It was the male bathroom, the last place they'd think to look into, where for some reason the door wasn't opening. Hurry!
I'm doing my best!
Poker was kicking it with all his strength, trying to open it no matter what. I have the antidote! How much time left?
No idea, but not much. Move aside!
Darts pushed Poker aside, but not too violently, and kicked it several times with the same result. None.
You moved me for that?
Now's not the time for fighting.
Coffee's sudden voice, in a much higher tone than what she usually used, had an immediate effect.
To my side, and we go out at the same time. 3, 2, 1!
Both kicks simultaneously finally made the door burst open. they could immediately tell that that was the place they were looking for. A howl full of pain made their bodies stop, followed by the restless and faltering breathing of the woman, and then another harrowing screech. Her voice seemed to be trying to ask for help, but the words came out distorted into noise. Like a soprano accompanied by an irregular percussion of desperate knocks, Gein's voice, now almost unrecognizable, echoed around the room, with the finale of her aria approaching. Now that the door was open, the voice spread throughout all corners of the bar. It didn't take long to notice where it was coming from. The inside of one of the bathroom stalls. Unconsciously, Darts put his hand on Bill's shoulder as he kept staring on the scream's direction. That touch managed to get him out of his shock. Abruptly, he turned to the group. The antidote! Before the rest reacted, Lime ran to the bathroom, throwing everyone aside.
Gein! Gein!
He approached the stall where the screams were coming from and tried to open it. However, just like the bathroom door, the lock didn't budge. Seeing it was impossible to open, Lime started to hit it.
Gein, are you there? Say something! Guinea!
The only response she got was another wail filled with anguish. The poison was doing its job well. The pain that could be heard in her voice made that very clear. Bill, Cocktail, Poker, and Darts went inside, antidote in hand. How is this possible? The problem was made clear instantly. The stall's door lock was stuck. It wasn't budging. There was no time. Somehow they had to get the cup to her. The only way seemed to be above the door, but Bill wasn't tall enough.
On my shoulders!
Okay! Very carefully, he got on top of Poker and was lifted up. For an instant, the antidote almost spilled, but he managed to save it. Gin! From that heightened position, he could finally see her. She was mostly on the floor, having almost lost all strength. Her eyes seemed about to pop out from their sockets. For a moment, they looked at Bill and the cup. The knocking stopped, and with her remaining energy, she attempted to get up and extend her arm. But it was impossible. He had to be the one to move closer. He moved on one of his legs above the door and sat on top of it. He could feel the tears falling from his eyes while his body shivered. His trembling hands made a few drops fall from the glass, landing on top of Gein's head. Like a signal, Gein looked upwards while opening her mouth, slowly trembling almost like a robot. Could he do it? With those trembling hands, it seemed impossible. Perhaps it wasn't so hard, but in his fear-infested brain, where a mistake meant sentencing a person to death, he would never know. Before he could do anything, Gein's head touched the ground. It likely wouldn't have mattered. They were too late. What?! What did I do wrong that time? Welcome once more. Alas, you came back here, though thankfully no death lasts forever for you. The same cannot be said for the unfortunate rules, however. So, what mournful tragedy led to the end of your life this time? In this case, it was not your own death, but of another rule. Expected or unexpected, it was not the one I had in mind. Even less so with that method of death. Fascinating. And with that, Bill's goal has failed. The game has started and there is no going back for the rules. Rule 1 has performed the opening move, and the rest will have to respond in some manner. What would this failure of a hero do after this? Oh, perhaps I went too far by calling him a failure, even if it is true, but I believe it would not upset him to hear it, as he does not consider himself a hero, so he says. After this, his only option is to give up and eventually die. Do you not agree? Or would he continue trying to save everyone else? But how? Interesting questions, but we do not have the necessary time to find the answers, sadly. You must go back and prevent this. Find another path. Maybe you already have something in mind. Something that could change the course of everything? Or maybe not, as you are not aware of what caused Rules 1's action. Is there actually a way to avoid this? That is a good question. For once, I will give you an answer. I will reveal the truth. Listen closely. There is none. None for billions. You heard that right. The truth is out much sooner than expected. That future where everyone survives can never be reached by the boy. His death or someone else's is unavoidable. Or at least it has been decided as such in this world within the possibilities in your deck. Or perhaps there's a way
measly possibility that could have required a chain of miraculous events, if that had happened. Could we really call this an interesting story? I would know. Can you see the implications? Those questions I raised previously about what would billiards do after this? How about we find out the answer? Time to drop the theatrics. Let's be honest with one another. It could be said that I lied when I implied you had to go back to find a solution, to reach the desired end of our young hero, but you knew deep down that ideal end never existed, no.
Perhaps the little speeches made you think it was possible, that if all joined together they could reach a happy ending.
But we both knew from the start this was not that type of story. Of course, death's coming, and this will not be the last one either. Furthermore, we both also know there has to be some sort of goal. Saving everyone may be impossible, but is it possible to save the majority? More than the 3 people the game allows. Sounds impossible, but it is what you and billiards have been attempting, no? Even if you were simply being led by him, that is the truth. In a way, even if one knows death, nothing has changed. Will billiards think so? How can he do it? How many deaths will you prevent? How many failures await you? It has transformed from a goal to a challenge, a record to set. This time I will not pretend to be ignorant of the answer. I know well of the difficulties that await you, and the deaths that are on the way. Good luck. Let's continue the show. This little intermission, this fabricated end, ends here. From now on, the true game starts. It truly does. Officially. Let's make a toast in honor of a fruitful game, and the souls of these lost rules, of which one has now left us, for the golden jacket for our dearest owner.
You cruel bastard! You actually got my hopes up! But I should have expected that. Very fucking good. Very good! Okay, so Geen is dead. Fuck. A silence that felt eternal. One that nobody dared to break. Each one was trying to process what had happened in their own ways. That silence had only come after several minutes where only wails and sobs were heard. And when every tear had dropped, there was nothing left. They had all returned to the counter after that. Bill's head was buried in his arms, recalling those moments again and again. He couldn't forgive himself. After her body had touched the floor, Bill had thrown himself to her, no longer caring about further spilling. But even though he had given her all that remained in the cup, it hadn't worked. It was clearly too late, as he had confirmed seconds later by taking her pulse. When he saw her, practically crawling, the poison had already started its job. Even if she had drank it sooner, it wouldn't have worked. He wasn't totally confident about it. He couldn't know for certain, but for his own sake, he had to believe that. Otherwise, he could not keep going. The door had been impossible to open, so although he had objected, they decided to leave the body there. Sadly, there wasn't any place there to bury her properly either. And moreover, as much as it hurt to think, they had to keep the crime scene intact. It was undeniable that death hadn't been an accident. For starters, Gin had no reason to be in the man's bathroom. That's right, she had no reason to be in there. However, more importantly, there was the state of both doors. The culprit had somehow blocked the bathroom entrance and broken Gin's stall door. Making sure that she was unable to get her antidote in time was no doubt an unexpected way to commit murder. It undoubtedly broke rule number 1. If by the next antidote delivery everyone got theirs, the culprit would be confirmed to be that rule. His hands were trembling again. This time, however, the cause was rage. He didn't want revenge, but he did want something. Justice? Perhaps. But answers most of all. Who had been capable of such a thing? Whoever it was, they had to be stopped before there was another victim. There would be one if nothing was done, as that death could only create a chain of tragedies. Leaving the bar was a thing of the past. Bill had firmly decided to remain there until everyone was safe. But as for how to accomplish that, it was now the biggest mystery of them all. Honestly, it is something that I really should have, anticipated. Because I had that optimism that we would be able to get everybody, protected, get everybody safe, keep them all alive. But it's... It's really fucking hard, you know? Especially considering I was already starting to really like Geen. I don't know. It really sucks. Looking at the barman on the rules menu, which rule disappeared? She was number 9. Rule 9 was gone. Geen had been Rule 9, the one that had almost taken his life. Now the danger the objectives posed was gone alongside her, and it wasn't something he could celebrate. One by one, the rules would fall. That's what the owner seeked. 9 still left, among them his own, still unknown. Finally, the silence broke with a bang. They'll regret this. He had smacked the counter with his fist. He stood up and looked at everyone, all practically motionless. Who's the bastard that locked us here? Are you watching this? Say something! We can't take this lightly anymore. Our time is limited. We have to choose. Screaming at each other won't do us any good either. There's only one choice. The game has begun, and we can only play it. But only 3 of us will survive, or even less than that. Seems so. Bill finally raised his head. No. I refuse.
You still haven't given up.
I wanted all of us to get out of here alive. But as long as we're still here, I can't give up. That battle is over, but the war isn't, correct? Exactly. For once in that moment, everyone seemed willing to listen to him. Having to confront their deaths, having to accept them, they yearned for an escape. Also, good music playing. Bill could feel everyone's gazes pressing him for an answer. But... And what's the plan? This time, Cigar was the one who raised from her seat. One of us killed that poor young woman. We have a killer here. I want to get out of this nightmare, but how am I supposed to trust anyone anymore? What have we done to deserve this? What punishment is this? You're still asking that. That won't get us anywhere. I know, but what do you expect me to say? Someone just died in front of us. I can't accept this so easily, and I shouldn't. This is all completely insane. Until now, I just went along, but I can't do it anymore. If they want us dead so much, just come here and do it already. Please, calm down. How? I'll prepare something for you. Cocktail nervously tried to calm them down. Bill's head fell down again, as his feelings of uselessness crushed him. More than ever, he wanted to do something, while being able to do nothing. Gin's image was still etched in his eyes, making him unable to even think.
We have to catch the culprit and make them pay! We can't let a killer run around free. If we don't stop them...
Stop them how?
With a vote. It's the only way.
So young and already considering murder. How sad.
What other choice do we have? If we let them free, we'll end up like Gin.
No, we can't kill number 1.
Huh? Why not? 'Cause killing is wrong?
No, because we need to protect Rule 1.
Wait, what? You want to protect them? Are you the killer or what?
For fuck's sake, shut up!
Poker's shout managed to silence everyone in an instant.
I only knew her for a few hours, but I still spent some time with Gin. I understand your pain and hatred for the killer. I feel the same. But this is what the murderer would want. Let's let her explain herself first.
The fact that Poker is managing to keep a cool head.
Coffee, what are you proposing?
Come on, explain. If we get rid of Rule 1, we will all become potential killers. It's very simple. An explanation shouldn't be needed.
Bill raised his head. If we get rid of Rule 1, we all become killers. Think about that for a second. If we all become killers, then we would be no different than Rule 1. If anything, we have to try to keep a better eye on each other. That's why I'm going to support. I'm afraid she's right.
Well, then what do we do? Nothing?
I don't like either option, to be frank. But still, we need to stop them somehow.
How? It's not like there's a jail here to lock them up.
Before considering that, we need to uncover their identity. But if we do that, we risk their rule being taken out.
In theory, as long as there's no majority vote, they won't die. We could expose them and keep them alive, but under watch.
That doesn't sound too bad, I guess.
It's not so simple.
What's the problem with that?
I didn't say there was a problem.
Explain it then. Don't leave us hanging.
Hanging from where?
You're serious.
Yes? What I meant was, according to the rules, only 3 of us can survive.
Therefore, sooner or later, number 1 should be taken care of.
So with that in mind, number 1 has some advantages over the rest. Even if we keep them alive and under watch, if they know that, as soon as 4 people are left, they'll be sacrificed. As soon as their identity gets found out, they'll use their license to kill to get rid of us and become the winner.
What are they waiting for then? Here we are! If it's one of us, they could just go ahead and do it right now.
Got me there, old man. I've got no idea.
Maybe they're at a disadvantage. The rule forbids us from killing them through violence, so I don't see how. Considering the method used, the culprit does not seem to be armed. So as long as we don't leave them an opening to attack, we should be safe. I believe we should calm down for now, and avoid being alone. Yeah, that does seem like a good idea. Everyone seemed to agree with Cocktail. There wasn't much more they could say, so the conversation ended there. Damn! With such a tense mood, some didn't take long to leave. Even Cocktail, for the first time, didn't stay at the counter. Nobody felt like drinking, so his services were not needed. Bill was left alone. No, there was someone else still there. Someone who hadn't said a word in that whole time. Is it Lime? Yep. She was the one that was closest to Geen. He didn't even notice her presence until that moment. The one who always stood out had turned invisible. Her face devoid of emotion. Bill wanted to say something. Try to cheer her up, but his mind went blank. Only capable of looking at her. She's got to be taking it the hardest, honestly. Like, damn. It really fucking hurts, man. Well, if there's anything this demo did tell me, it did a really good job getting me attached to some of the characters, you know? I got to give you credit for that. You did a good job. You actually got me attached to Geen. Maybe it was her attitude or the fact that I gave her the Frieza voice, but damn it. God, you actually got me attached to her, man. She was motionless, frozen in her seat, barely making any sound. And though her eyes were red, no tears remained. She's probably already cried out as much as she possibly could. He remembered Geen and Lime talking often, though to be fair, Lime talked often to everyone. Obviously, any death was a tragedy, especially in case of murder, yet no one seemed as hurt by it as she was. Lime, do you need...
Yo, Billy.
And slowly raised her hand, waving.
How's it going? Want to play something, or do you want to chat?
Are you...
Tell me one of your fun stories.
Her head lifted up, showing what was trying to be a smile. The tone of her voice tried to imitate her usual one, but something essential was missing. Bill gritted his teeth, trying to control himself. No. You don't need to force yourself to...
Come on! Cheer up that face! We're on a bar, not...
Lime! Buried rules. Damn. Thanks. Until now, I thought that you weren't taking this seriously. But I think I understand now. So thank you, and sorry for not realizing it until now.
What are you saying, Billy?
We both tried hard to avoid this, but we still ended up here. But this isn't the end. It's hard to get over this loss. Actually, I don't know if I'll ever be capable of getting over this. But as long as we stay alive, this story won't end here. For now, rest up. He turned around, ready to leave. But after a couple of steps, a hand grabbed his arm.
No. You don't get it.
Huh?
Silly Billy. You overestimate me. I didn't do anything for anyone. Just myself. I only wanted to not think. Why else do you think I got drunk? As long as I had fun, all the fear and all the danger didn't exist. And neither did the game, or the poison. Nothing. But while we were happily talking, while we were talking about her, someone was
He tried to turn towards her, but Lion's hand pressing into his arm stopped him.
Now I'll never be able to ask about the conversation. I can't remember. I can't even remember the last talk we had. No. I remember one thing. I made you make an unfair promise. And you couldn't keep. Or I guess you did, but this isn't what I wanted. Why did it end like this?
Words he couldn't understand. Whispers that weren't meant for him.
We barely met a few hours ago, and yet, I think there was something there. Still, no matter what I maybe felt about her, or whatever could have been, the truth is I can't even cry for Gitney the way I should. Because more than sadness, what I feel the most is fear. I hate that.
The hand was let go. He turned around and...
We'll have to try harder then, Bilbo.
The kid lied on the floor, screaming in pain, holding his wound. The pain prevented him from getting up. It wasn't actually a severe wound, but he'd never been very strong. Luckily, someone came to help soon after. The one person he needed most.
Are you okay? What happened?
They hit me, and those guys again? Yes!
As he saw the wound, the boy sighed, relieved.
Don't worry. It's nothing serious.
Still, though, those kids don't learn.
I just tried to talk to them, to make peace, and...
You don't learn either, for better or for worse.
Huh? Why?
The boy extended his hand.
Come on, up you go.
Grabbing his hand, he managed to get up. The pain was still there, but seemed to have diminished. Or maybe him just being there helped him relax. Thanks. No problem.
You think I shouldn't talk to them?
Someone has to talk to him, that's for sure. But it shouldn't be you.
I don't get it. What's wrong with them? They attack me just because of how I am.
No matter how much time passed, he could not understand. It had been happening for years since he was there. But in his innocence, he didn't understand why, and kept stumbling over the same mistakes. Were they really mistakes? He was always wondering that. When he met that boy, things changed, though not completely. His self-confidence had grown a lot, and for the most part, he felt happier. It could be said that he was his best friend. His only friend, really. But he saw him as something else. For starters, there was the 6 years difference between them, so he was much more akin to a big brother or father, or even a hero. When he was with him, nobody attacked or insulted him, but as time passed, he had felt that he was relying too much on him. He knew that their lives would one day inevitably go down different paths. It would probably happen soon. It was for that reason that he wanted to learn from him as much as he could, make friends, and solve his problems as fast as possible. But no matter how hard he tried, it was one failure after another. Was everything he was trying pointless? Was it impossible for them to understand each other? Some would say humans are born with pure innocence that is lost as they grow up. And part of that innocence was that concept, the belief that everyone can get along, that with enough effort everyone can understand each other. If that was true, world peace could be attained. Unfortunately, life teaches us the opposite in little time. And yet that kid still didn't seem to have learned that lesson. Or maybe he just refused to learn it. Perhaps he could not bear being rejected by others. Perhaps he was too innocent. But even after seeing that, the brother could not bring himself to break that illusion. In fact, he wished for the opposite, that everyone believed in that fantasy, so it stopped being one. Even so, he worried about what could happen to the kid when he could not be there to protect him anymore.
You think I'm doing it wrong? Should I stop?
It was obvious that he had to stop trying, for his own good. He had started having problems with other kids practically as soon as he had arrived there. While the adults had tried to solve it on many occasions, no solution had lasted for very long. Behind his back, he was considered a problem magnet, a kid with bad luck, an easy target. At some point, he had given up. He had accepted his position, until his hero appeared. He didn't want that kid to lose hope again, but he also had to accept reality. So his answer at that time was, "We'll have to try harder." Was that a mistake? That kid, who would one day be called Billiards, inspired by that person, was again on that junction. He could persist on his goal. Even with the person's death, everyone else could still come out alive. Or he could accept reality and fight for his life against the others. 3. Break shot. Oh! Thrown to the ground, covered in sweat and tears, and pushed to his limits, a switch finally flipped in the kid's mind. He could endure the pain, as he was already more than used to it. Insults didn't faze him. They no longer mattered. There was, however, one line that nobody could cross, and they had done just that. He didn't know where they had found that information about his past. Probably from one of the adults, though that didn't matter at that moment. That was his weak point. He wished to leave his past behind and start a new life there, and now that dream felt impossible. He couldn't bear it. The wounds on his body stopped hurting, and something else took its place. A new sensation. A rage inside, consuming his mind. Hatred that he never thought he was capable of feeling for anyone. Not even them. His right hand moved across the ground, in search of something. Nothing specific. Anything would do. His fingers reached something. His eyes were still fixed on his attackers, but he could still tell what the object in his hand was. At that moment, he thought of him. What would he think about what he was about to do? The answer was obvious. He knew doing it could destroy everything. Was he willing to lose everything all over again for a mere fleeting moment of satisfaction? Yes. Intoxicated by that hatred, letting the adrenaline take over him. That was his answer. He gathered his remaining strength and raised his arm, extending it towards the one in front of him. It was just a small branch, nothing more. Small enough to go through his target's eye. Holy shit! Lime had left after those words, which had inevitably resurfaced memories from inside him. He'd been there for a few minutes, alone on that seat, thinking, remembering. But the only conclusion he could reach was that he had to keep going. And for that, he had to move. While objectives were no longer a concern in between councils, the pressure to act was bigger than ever. On the one hand was the assassin, rule number 1. Further deaths had to be avoided, and to do that, he had to find out who they were. He wasn't sure what to do with them, but somehow they had to be stopped. There was also his own number. He needed to figure it out as soon as possible. And number 2, the potential key to escape. Wait. A recollection echoed in his mind. Quickly, he went to the data menu of his barman, and indeed. Gin. was Rule 9. She has traveled to another country. She likes black coffee, and there was a suicide attempt. Could perhaps the knowledge that the victim had desired death sometime in her life diminish the pain he felt about that wish having been granted now? There also exists the possibility that maybe she sacrificed herself, but part of me thinks that she might... Wait a minute. If the door was locked on both sides... if the door was locked, that means she must have intentionally locked herself away. Maybe she really was trying to sacrifice herself for the safety of others. Or maybe she really was killed. No, of course not. He didn't know when that suicide attempt had taken place. But even if it had been recent, it didn't change anything. Gin hadn't seemed like the type of person to try to take her own life. Though whatever the reason, the attempt had failed, and she had continued her life until that other person had taken that chance away. And not just any other person. Rule 1, the other person that data included. Again, a macabre irony, but that cruel twist of fate could become the key to stopping the killer. With 9's death, only one more person among them fit that data. That was the person he needed to find. For an instant, he felt the allure of a fleeting idea, a wicked thought that tried to make him lose his way. What? Maybe. Perhaps that was just another suicide attempt, a successful one. Perhaps maybe it wasn't a murder and everyone else was innocent. I literally suggested that. He didn't have to suspect anyone. He didn't have to feel any guilt. He immediately rejected those whispers coming from his subconscious. But the fact that he still thought about that potential possibility is a good thing. We have to try to eliminate any possibility. He didn't know past Gin, and probably didn't know the Gin of the last few hours too well either, but he had seen her face in her last moments. Even leaving aside every sign pointing towards murder, that face of horror and suffering said more than enough. He wouldn't fall for that trap. He wouldn't use that fantasy to take the easy and painless way out. Murder mystery stories were never his hobby, nor had he ever been interested in detective or police work, but he still knew one of the basics was interrogating the suspects. He didn't know how he'd do it, or if he'd be capable, but it didn't need to be too formal. Just a simple conversation with each person. But that was the hardest part for him, having to suspect others. Did he have to talk to all of them? Who were the most suspicious? He began by making a mental list of all 9. No. 8. Lime, vodka, cigar, piano, cocktail, poker, coffee, and darts. Lime was out. He was certain of that. He couldn't see her as a killer, even less so after what had happened. He didn't even want to consider it. The worst part is you also have to think it might be the one that's the one you least expect. It's a dark subject. It's a dark thought. But... And while not a great reason, he didn't have the resolve to talk to her again after what had happened, especially about that subject. He needed some time. Vodka was also quite unlikely, though less so. His age would make any physical action harder, and there was his indifferent attitude towards the game, more willing to die than kill. There was the chance of that being an act, but he wasn't the biggest suspect. Cigar also didn't give off the impression of being capable of it, at least not mentally. Moreover, she'd been visibly affected by it, having shown panic, ire, and fear. Again, it could be an act. Not likely, though. Piano was a kid. Even if he tried to act as if he wasn't, physically less capable against Gin than vodka. Very unlikely. Cocktail was the first plausible candidate. He seemed to be a good person, albeit distant. An easy person to suspect, with a strong image as a bartender and the game taking place in a bar. Even though he was searching for the murderer, he couldn't help but recall Dart's words about the possibility of Cocktail having some relation to the owner. But he had to focus. Physically, he could have done it. But Bill didn't have enough information on him or the murder to reach any conclusions. He had to consider him a suspect, even if he didn't like it. Poker was another possible suspect, but the friendship he seemed to have made with Geen made it less likely. On the other hand, he definitely had enough strength to commit the crime. Though he seemed less hurt by it than Cigar and Lime, he'd been clearly furious, much more serious than usual. No doubt it affected him. He just showed it less. Even if he was innocent, he could still be worth talking to, as he seemed to have known Geen better than the rest, Lime aside. Coffee was the biggest mystery of all. He found it impossible to judge her in any way. Obviously that made her suspicious, but simply due to a mere lack of info. On the one hand, she seemed to have less strength than Geen, making her a less likely candidate, though not an impossible one. But that was as far as he could go without a speculation. He needed to talk to her more, as hard as that was. And last but not least, Darts. Perhaps from the whole group, the person he'd had the most clashes with. There was no denying that their relationship had been rough from the start, and he hadn't had a great opinion of it. However, after their strange conversations, he had no idea anymore. He was always wondering whose side he was on, what he was aiming for. He was certainly a possible culprit, but how likely was it? He could picture him both as main suspect and innocent. In summary, his main suspects were Cocktail, Poker, and Darts, with a big question mark over Coffee. As well as Darts, again. But really those question marks could be extended to the whole group. Even after a few hours with them, they were still strangers. Even Lime, the one who seemed to have suffered the most from Geen's death, as much as he wanted to completely discard her, her innocence wasn't 100% certain. Step by step, he needed to talk to each of them in private. Otherwise, nothing would be done. At first glance, the easiest way to find the culprit was to figure out who fit his third data. But it wouldn't work to simply ask each player if they had ever tried to kill themselves. Aside from being incredibly insensitive, the culprit would lie without no way of him to know, without any way for him to know. And it wasn't the type of answer he could get while being subtle. The best way, maybe the only one, was finding out who had both the reason and the mindset required to reach such an extreme. And from the little he knew of them, I'm going by first impressions. None of the A gave off that image. Same as Geen. And there was another factor to consider. Was talking alone with someone safe? As long as the killer was free, it was a risk. As much as he refused to play the game, someone else had already started, and they wouldn't turn back after such a serious crime. If his investigation was found out, he could become the next victim. The rest would also want to find the culprit's identity, but compared to being willing to openly investigate, it was a different matter. My head. There was much to do and not much time to do it in. He had to find the culprit. He had to stop the culprit without killing them. Further deaths had to be stopped. And above all else, they would escape that place, the Golden Jack. Thank you for playing this far. We hope you enjoyed it. Abso-fucking-lutely! This is only the beginning of what we hope will be so much more. All will be decided on the Kickstarter campaign, planned to start in early 2023. Join Discord server link to follow the development and talk about the demo. Oh my. Okay. That was a long as fuck demo, but with what it has to show me, I'm already impressed. As soon as, hey, I'm gonna keep my eye on this freaking Kickstarter, and I hope everybody else that actually sat through and watched this with me actually keep an eye on this Kickstarter. Whenever it gets started, I'm jumping on that immediately, okay? I really want to play the full release whenever this comes out. I'm just gonna give a big thank you again to the developer for kind of reaching out and letting me have a chance to play this. Like, seriously, fucking thank you guys. I'm honored, honestly. But seriously, as soon as that Kickstarter starts, I'm gonna jump in on that like, goddamn, you have no fucking idea. I don't care if I'm cursing a lot.
Oh, I really want to figure this out.
Okay, what kind of extras do we have, though? Let me see. Photo album? Oh no! I got none! The registry? Welcome once again. You want to remember past tragedies? Go ahead then, I would not be yourself for proving nostalgia. Hey! I actually got I only got a couple of the bad endings. Nice! Very nice! One stroke! Utility! Oh well. Oh my god. Damn! I didn't get all the endings, but honestly, as everybody has seen, this is good. I realize this is, again, a bit of a demo, so of course... Oh my god, I can't wait till the full release. I'm definitely going to be hopping onto that freaking Kickstarter as soon as it pops in. God damn. Sorry. This is so good. Okay, calm down. Very well then, until we meet again. I'm already looking forward to actually getting to play this. So, I will admit, the console settings are interesting. They're relatively short, but overall, I kind of like them as a concept. It's taken me a while to get used to the rules, but I've already got a couple of theories right now. Like, I legitimately think that Lime is number 2. The reason I say that is because she mentioned the weapons, and we only got the idea about the weapons was because we went through that bad ending and saw what was in the hallway, which there was a room full of weapons, and she mentioned that while she was drunk, which could only be possible if she went out into the hallway herself. So, which was all impossible if she was rule number 2. Oh boy. Okay. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm legitimately looking forward to seeing this thing get fully released, and you know I'm gonna be tackling this thing whenever it comes out into full release. You know I'm gonna be tackling that shit. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining me on this, and until this game is fully released, I've been Slabon92, and I will see all of you guys next time.